All right. All right. This is the late night edition. Chaos Reign. And, thank y'all again for this, I guess, nightly stream. And before I begin, let me see if I can get the Great Liberator on here. And like always, guys, this is not going to be a very lengthy stream tonight. So 1 second. Let me see if I can get somebody else on here. And for those who watch or have not subscribed to the channel first time, thank you. Subscribe, hit the bell. 3 options in the bell. When you see the bell, you could choose how often you want to get notification on this stream. Also, give a like as you come through, and also after the show. So as you come to the chat room, like it. Yeah, I know you subscribe. And also, during every live stream or any video, please leave a comment, thoughts, feelings, and opinions. I would like to see what's on your mind on every video that's being done on Chaos Reign. And should I drop the chat, the StreamYard chat? Let me see. Let me see if I could send an invite. Put it on here. Let me copy this. Okay. I'm just gonna place up here. If anybody wants to come up and view their opinions, that's all good. And that was a very interesting stream. It is very much a very interesting stream, and I find that certain people that either as a content creator or they just roam around the YouTube frequently, that it's not only their opinion, but if you're going to do something, you do it. And the one thing from the other stream is, why are you throwing shades to this community if you have no value or see anything better out of it? That's my opinion with it all. And be honest with you, I love and respect our people. And I feel that with any obstacles we face right now, we could overcome it. It has been done in the past with the odds we had now and the situation we find ourselves in now. It can be difficult, but it can be achieved. And I feel with most of the men and women of this community, they look for just an excuse to divest, and not only divest, but to keep talking crap about the community they came from, which to me is preposterous. And I don't want to compare ourselves to other communities, but when we talk about ourselves as a nation, as a collective, as race people, we're not looking good right now. Because one of the few things, the problems we face, we can't even stay on track or code when it comes to our problems within our own community. We talk too much, we tell business too much, like Cerulean said, and it's shown here on YouTube. And it shows the dysfunction, the mental illness that we don't want to address as people. And I'm being honest with y'all, no person is going to come save our mental issues, not only in America, but globally, where we at. And the reason why they're not invested in going to do that, because they profit off your dysfunction that they created. Can we agree? And I always harp the importance of correcting the mind, because that's where all, I would say over more than half or 90%, I'll say 90% of the war starts. Before anything else, if you get into this man's thinking, hold on. Yes. No, it's not. Yes. What's up, Mary?
Yeah, what's up? What you doing? You gonna do one?
I'm live right now.
Oh, you are?
Yeah, man.
Damn, why I didn't get a notification?
You might have to what's the word? You might have to go back, resubscribe, and hit that bell. If you're not getting and it depends what type of bell you hit, because there's 3 options now on YouTube.
There's 3?
There's 3 options. And
you know what I know, if I was looking at other people, I see everybody views down, man.
They what?
I say a lot of people views are down. Like their views,
yeah,
it's down, man. I think they're doing something with the algorithm or something.
Listen, they're gonna do whatever they can on YouTube because it's their shit. So depending on what people's put out there, either is you can learn from it or some ratchetness, it don't matter. You know what I'm saying? Because these are small channels. Most people that's doing content on here are small channels. A lot of people think because you got over 5K or 10K or hell even 50 or greater, you're a channel. And let me say this to most people that's gonna watch this video, and y'all not gonna like this. You're not a YouTube channel unless you got over 100K subscribers. Not this view, but just 100K alone. You got a lot of people watching, but you're really a channel once you have that many people on your stuff.
Right.
And hitting that bell. And the reason why I say this, because YouTube, the way how they do things here, they only care to people that are able to build a substantial audience over the years. If you get that count within a year, even great. But on the average, most of us that's starting as on here on YouTube that started a year or 2, we are roughly small channels. So don't be fooled because people got 10K, 25, even close to over 50K that they're a channel. No, you're not. You're a channel once you hit the 100K. And the only few people I can give you examples that are channels from, and I'm only gonna give these links because I don't give promotion. Everybody Hates Angel, Phil from the Vice Show, Tasha K, and I can't name anybody else because I don't really know all the channels that so-called on her YouTube, but those are the few that I come off the back of my head that are actual channels on YouTube. Everybody else that doesn't hit that plateau, you're just a small channel.
Right.
And Melo's gonna come up in a second. So
Melon's coming up. Okay.
Yeah.
I want to talk to her.
Yeah. So to keep it real with y'all, when people talk about say that people are struggling, all this stupid shit, we gotta be honest here. We're not doing shit on here on YouTube.
Yeah, I looked at my social grade. I got a C, and I looked at some other channels, and they got C's too.
Well, like I said, we're not
acting like you fucking Big Willie. You
no,
know
but it's the big as people messing with their hey, how you doing, Christian? People are filling themselves up because they get stream like over 200, 300 maybe on a live stream. Like something. Yeah, it sounds nice. It sounds you get something, but it's not nothing. To be honest with you.
Yeah, I'm not on here every day like that. You know what I mean? I can only be on here sparingly because of the way I work.
Yeah. I mean, you gotta do what you can. You gotta do what you can. But at the end of the day, like I said, we're a small channel. So I sometimes look at the numbers and see the growth of this channel, and it's gonna be a very small growth. It's not gonna be a big growth because some of the things I say is not gonna be entertaining all the time. It's not somewhere you're gonna sit there, Google Live, and find that we're attacking black people.
Well, I mean, Well, I mean, look at our intellectual diet, our psychological diet, our spiritual diet, our mental diet. We love junk food, and similarly, we love junk intellectual property. You know what I'm saying? Like we love the things that entertain us. See, a lot of us want to be entertained. We don't want to be educated. And it's like for what I aim for with my channel on my platform, you have to have a high intellectual ceiling to be able to rock with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like a lot of it, it'll go over your head if you're just like into the lowbrow entertainment type stuff. You know what I mean? Like it'll go over your head.
Of course.
And you just don't, like, that's not valued. That's not valued with a lot of us. A lot of us know we value pseudoship. We don't value scholarship. We don't value intellectualism. Like you have individuals talking about demonize reading. I'm like, how can you demonize reading? You know what I mean? Like, and see what happens. And this is the problem with the coming industrial revolution, this automation, the rise of the machine.
Yeah.
Because the more sophisticated technology becomes, the more our brain power and our computing power as humans evolves.
Yeah.
Because look at it now. You have kids in school; they don't even know how to write in cursive. They don't even know what cursive is.
Yes, correct.
You see what I'm saying? Like it's the same thing with math. And so what happens? And see, this is why, like I've even talked about gender equality, and like brothers and sisters can't even grasp that. They don't even understand how that the male and the female they're not opposition. They're binaries. They're binaries. It speaks to the symbiotic nature of male and female, which in and of itself denotes equality. But what you have coming, you have a hierarchy coming that's going to be totally based on technology. Yeah. Where if these machines, this artificial intelligence, becomes sentient and self-aware, it's going to be at the top of the food chain, just like the Matrix movie. It's going to be at the top of the food chain because
it's going to be like the Terminator.
Yeah, because it's already going to have the mental edge on us, and then when it creates, like it can create robotic bodies, it's going to have the physical edge too.
I agree.
It's like this is a real threat. Like it's a real threat when you just understand where they are with the technology. So what I'm saying is that technology can be a gift and a curse because it can assist us in a lot of things, but it also can cause us to devolve mentally. And this is where a lot of us are. Like the population is dumbed down. Here it is in 2019, and you have individuals who really think the earth is flat. They really believe that. They believe they live on a big cake. And the reason why they believe that is because of the internet. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They believe that because of the internet.
Yeah.
You see? So, like, you just think of that, and that's what we're faced with. That's what we're faced with. People love entertainment. They don't love We want to have church. We love church. See, and this is why they were talking about negativity. You being negative. All you do is talk. Because what they want is they want you to sit there like a pastor and tell them what's going to make them feel good. See, tell them what's going to make them feel good in their condition.
Mm-hmm.
You see, so they want you to lay it on real thick, just like this preacher. You see, and they'll sit in your chair. These are the types of chants that that get the most traction. Like you get more traction with a chant than actually bringing such really substance. That these Negroes, this is American culture, American society.
Mm-hmm.
This is American society. We suffer from affluenza. The affluent Negro.
Mm-hmm.
Even in the slums and the ghettos of inner cities all across the country, we still suffer from First Nations.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean we still suffer from the problems of a first world nation. So we don't even really understand what poverty is. We just what the poverty that we know in relation to the decadence of the laws of society.
And not only that, when we look at here in America and outside America, that niggas got it good up, and they just don't know that, regardless we're living in Dutch now moving to, and there's certain parts of America probably well, but still when you're in a city or anywhere, especially in this country, you good. You know what I'm saying? But outside there, you need to worry about not only what you got to eat, you have to worry about how you're gonna maintain. Hell, how you gonna get by? All stuff. And here's the sad thing about all this, Amiri. Do a quick Google search, right? We'll find that America is pretty much dead last in regards to there's certain and there's reason for that, because the system we had, and Cerulli did a stream on this, and I wish I could tell what stream was he did, that people don't understand you're living in a very capitalist controlled society where at times they can't afford to educate you, because by educating now you can't be a consumer, because now you're going to the problems that you face in your life and you're going to go right to the source. And I'm fully this made a conscious this years, and I'm going to say 20, 40, I would say 30 years, just to keep it respectful, around the early 90s, to start dumbing down people. And remember, this is a process. This isn't this took decades and decades of executing to say, no, we gotta start dumbing down American population, not just but just America in general. Because we want to put in place so that we could pull wool over these fools. So when through that start to come to awareness, it'll be too late. You know what I'm saying? With corporations, there's leverage right now that's being tried to shut down a lot of people to get into these institutions, And regardless of the situation, education is one of them up there that's privatized now. I might be wrong, but let's say it's there now, right? If we already see a population of people that's not even reading or get a level doing math, reading all this stuff, and we're now heading into a digital age with digital technology, a lot to make it, especially when now people have to confront to doing STEM or coding. These are required that you have to be able to read at a certain level. Hell, you might have to do math at a certain level. And if you can't even get those basics, you can't do nothing. I'm telling you right now. So when people say people are not prepared, I meant to be prepared because it's designed for you to keep you uncompetitive. If you're a black person, you damn sure gonna be very uncompetitive. Because the whole purpose of competition is to knock out the competition. The more you're not competitive, the easiest they can sit there continue sucking. Like a vampire. I'm saying, like a parasite. How can I feed on somebody trying to parasite it? It don't make sense. So yeah, you go on. Let me just log on because I think some. Go on.
Oh, yeah, I mean, no, just that's just the type of content that we like and we love. And what you have is, we don't try and put each other on, especially men. Like some of the most prominent black male YouTubers, they put black female YouTubers on, but haven't really done that for other black male YouTubers because it's that ego thing, that competition. You know what I'm saying? And what you have is that weaponizing black men against black men. Like a panel on there, they'll do that. They'll weaponize one brother against another. Oh, he's an alpha. You a beta. See, this is them to play both ends against the middle. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But when it comes to black female fuckery, 9 times out of 10, those women gonna put up a united front.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? Like that's how it is, man. Like black men they're not patriarchal for whatever the reason, whatever the case. It's like we don't believe in black male dominated spaces. You know what I'm saying? Because if we did, we would be more supportive of each other, and a lot of us aren't. Like a lot of us are not. Like that. Even that time with Phil, when Phil was going through a situation where because of his wife and everything, I remember I did a stream.
Hold on a second.
Okay.
Let me break this. Sorry about that, guys. Let me exit this.
More important, and the work that he does is more important than who his wife is. You see what I mean? Like that was more important. Like, and I remember I lost like 2,000 subscribers behind that, but you know what? I didn't give a damn. You see, because wasn't none of those women upset when I made my video taking up for Serena Williams. But I said Serena Williams doesn't know black men anything, and she doesn't. See, like I don't believe in this thing where we want to feel ingratiated to other black people. We want to feel ingratiated. No, like you're not entitled. You are not entitled. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't believe in that. So, I made my I did that stream, that I still support Phil because why would I want to tear down the largest black YouTube channel over that? But then these same individuals that call themselves pro-black. You see what I'm saying? Like, you're not pro-black then.
Yeah.
You see? Like, I'm not basing it. I don't base my politics off of who I have sexual access to and who I don't. But unfortunately, this is what a lot of other individuals do. Like there are other prominent black female YouTubers where you can pull up tweets and receipts of them talking about how they prefer white men. You see what I'm saying? But then you'll sit here and try and shit on somebody like Phil. When Phil's work, what Phil is doing is more important than that. You know what I mean? It's more important. But then they'll try to tell you that they're B1 or they're pro-black. I'm like, get the hell out of here, man. Y'all full of shit. You know what I mean? And you know good damn well when none of those sisters, if it was just a regular dude, wasn't the biggest black YouTuber, damn well those women wouldn't have been checking for no fifth.
All right.
You know what I'm saying?
I think that's Mella.
They would have been right there, gushing over some little sorry, dusty dude. You know what I'm saying? Don Trarius. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Who got 8 kids by 8 different women. But because Phil is successful and because he represents black male success, now y'all got a problem. You know what I'm saying? But good well if he wasn't in that position, y'all wouldn't have gave a damn. You know what I mean? This is so hypocritical, man.
Yeah. That's how we be in this community. But Mella is now. You ready to speak, Mella? What's on your mind?
Of course I am. I was wondering if everyone could hear me clearly. That would be great.
Yeah, I feel like hear you. I can hear you from my end, so it sounds good.
Hey, what's up, Mella?
Okay. Hey, you gonna join us in a old-fashioned way, or you gonna stay on the phone? Wait. Are you gonna stay the old-fashioned way, or are you gonna get on the panel?
Oh, what do you mean? Oh wait, is she asking am I gonna get on the panel?
Yeah, because we're on the phone right now.
Okay, well let me get on the panel then. I forgot I was on the phone. Let me get on the panel.
All right.
All right.
Okay, see you later.
All right.
Yes, Mela. So what's on your mind, Mela?
I just wanted to emphasize that one of my greatest passions is health and wellness and nutrition specifically. And I was mentioning that only because I heard the term food deserts, you know, how a lot of Black people live in impoverished areas where they oftentimes don't have direct access, like walking across the street or at least less than a half a mile to a produce market. And I just found that intriguing because that is the downfall of the lack of proper nutrition affects how the mechanisms of the brain. It's a fact. And there are people that are relying upon the same, like, let's just say, for instance, somebody does have this epiphany where they want to take their nutrition seriously and they go back to the quote unquote old school ways of cooking. You know, you got the greens, beans, tomatoes. Everybody knows that Shirley Caesar song. Okay. And
that was a good song though. I like that.
Yeah. And
greens,
greens, beans, tomatoes. Exactly.
Listen, if you don't know how to cook, you listen to Miss Shirley. She said you right. You know, let's give you a melody, and that's how you get it. You go say, "Well, I got for the greens, tomatoes," and because how you know? Because Miss Shirley told me, I got for the greens, tomatoes, and then you know what I'm saying.
I do know what you're saying. I also recognize that it's difficult for a lot of our people to access not only that produce, but produce that has been grown in such a way that the proper minerals, have been absorbed into either that fruit or vegetable. Hello?
Yeah,
And
continue.
that's the situation. Like, we're being malnourished and we don't even know it, you know. And when you're malnourished, your lower vibration takes over. And I'm not speaking of you and, you know, specifically, I'm just saying in general, the lower bless you ahead of time. And bless you ahead of time and thereafter. So the malnourishment comes into play when people are consuming foods that they think is going to serve them well, but it's already messed up. And I can go into detail about, you know, organic versus non-organic, because quite frankly, some of that organic food is expensive and ain't nobody trying to do all that. However, there are supplements and other considerations to factor in. And because I heard this talk about Black people not eating like they're supposed to, which I fully agree, because I love nutrition. As a matter of fact, if I could, I would have certification as being a holistic coach. But, you know, I'm too old, man. I'm too old. But anyway, there's a doctor.
How old are you?
Hey, greetings to you as well. Very polite question, I must say. But the doctor, this is a Black man, Dr. Milton Mills.
Okay.
Dr. Milton Mills. He's a Black man. He's very articulate. He's honored amongst all circles of noteworthy and best-selling author physicians out there in the world. And so we like to always talk about our disappointments amongst our people. There are exceptional people out here. There's Suzanne, what is her name? Suzanne. She's like a $2 trillion governess of Wall Street. She manages accounts on Wall Street upwards of $2 trillion. And she's a Black woman. She just did a lecture the other day in front of Spelman College. And I know those are just, her name, let me get this right. Suzanne.
I know you're talking about she's married to a white man, so that don't count.
Okay. I don't know who the. For all I know, Dr. Milton Mills is married to a white woman.
Well,
What
no,
I'm
I
trying to.
was just playing anyway. I don't know.
Do me a favor. 'Cause I know you're on the computer. Any way you could type in the name, possibly? And I'll.
It's difficult to navigate that because it cuts. I tried to do that before, and it dropped.
All right.
It dropped
Well,
me.
I'll do this.
Well, let me ask you a question, Miller.
Hold on, guys. If anybody's chat room, Christina Williams, so anybody that's on mods, if you can find a YouTube video or the name, please leave in the chat room right now if you can. Thank you.
Milton
Go
Mills
ahead.
and Suzanne. What is her last name? But anyway, Suzanne on Wall Street. Suzanne, the black woman on Wall Street. That'll work.
Okay.
Suzanne. And Suzanne is spelled with 1 Z and 2 N's. Suzanne. Suzanne. Suzanne, the black woman on Wall Street, handling $2 trillion. Trillion. Okay.
Trillion.
Now that ain't no chump change. Now, so anyway, my passion is nutrition, and I'm all prepared to discuss everything in that fashion. My recent hobby was to study politics, but specifically in the area of impeachment, because there was a lot, there's all this buzz going around about impeaching Trump, and I was just looking up as a hobby, because I like to do research. I like my due diligence. I really do. And what I was trying to figure out, what exactly is this whole impeachment gossip that's going around about this guy? So those are the two things that I've been up to for personal development, in addition to holistic healing. And that's why I'm here. And so therefore I come in peace. Okay.
I said, okay, what do you do for a living?
I'm a retired Air Force veteran.
You're retired Air Force veteran.
How long you served?
How long you been retired?
I've been retired since I was 45 years old.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
So you served like over 20 years in the service?
I did a tour in Korea, Osan Air Base, where I was actually distinguished enough to get a lot of medals and trophies and recognition and all that other kind of, being the first black woman to serve during wartime at the branch and all that other kind of those accolades.
Wasn't none of them for twerking, was it?
and then what happened was George Bush enacted Desert Storm, and what was
the
really
first George Bush or the second George Bush?
The first one. And what was really frightening is that, just so you know, I'm not ignoring your questions. I'm just picking and choosing which ones to answer.
I know.
All right. I'm not ignoring you at all. I'm not one of those people that just like, anyway, whatever. I'm not going to do that. However, I have a right to pick and choose what questions to answer. So I hope you would, grant me that.
Yeah,
right.
No, I'm not, man. I'm gonna get you though. I'm gonna get you with a gotcha question.
That'll be fine. I would love to see your effort. I would love to experience your efforts.
Okay.
But yeah, that's pretty much it. I joined the military in 19 only because I wanted a independent way of providing education for myself. My family was always pressuring me about how they're going to pay for my school and how I'm going to owe them and what they expect of me. They were putting a lot of kind of, how can I put this, vindictiveness type of, it didn't sound like they were going to put me through school for love. It sounded like they were going to put me through school because they were trying to invest in a slave. And it was kind of, I was just getting this weird vibe, like, so you all don't really care what happens to me as long as I serve you. And when I came to that conclusion, for whatever reason, what was presented to me was an option called the military. I thought, I'd join the army, but a neighborhood friend said that whatever you do, join the Air Force or it's a waste of time. And fortunately, I was able to get in. And so that's why I joined. There hadn't been a war since the Vietnam conflict, right? So I'm like, hey, cool in the gang. I get money for school, no problem. Next thing I know, this damn war come up. This war come up, and I was like, I didn't sign up for this. And it was very, very, it was torture for me because I signed up for what I thought at the time would be the easiest gig because it was a time of so-called peace. It was peacetime. So they said, if you want a job that you just really don't have to do nothing, then be an aircraft armament system specialist. And you'll be around the jets, you'll be in the real Air Force, but unless there's war, you ain't really doing nothing but just showing up for work and, tinkling, being mechanical, because that's what my aptitude tested high for. It tested high for hand-eye coordination, which is, can be transferred not only for knitting sweaters, but it also that aptitude can be transferred into, mechanical applications. And so that's what I went into. I went into the real Air Force, where you're around those F-16s, F-15s, and you fix the launching equipment, you work with the guns, everything that is powerful and deadly about that jet, you are a part of. And it didn't mean nothing to me until it was wartime. And when it was wartime, I had never thought I would be in anything to that degree of seriousness. It was just, I worked like a man. And I know that sounded kind of bite, but I worked like a man because it was a male-dominated career field. I was one of the first Black women to serve during wartime under that AFSC, under that job. Like there were women that were under that job before, but never during wartime. You see, and that's the distinguishment, and that's why I got all these, accolades and stuff. But it changes you. It changes you. They break you down. Yep. They break you down. And it took marriage to repair my spirit. I'm not gonna lie about that. It took marriage to repair my spirit, because I was a very I was a wartime veteran, Mm-hmm. So, whatever. I've never gotten diagnosed with PTSD. I didn't go that route or anything like that. But I wouldn't be surprised if people such as myself who might be diagnosed with that have similar experiences that we could chat privately with one another. But I find that most of us military folks, we don't talk to civilians about our experiences. But I decided to be generous tonight and give some background specifically about my military circumstances. So, but in terms of being a Black woman, do you all have any questions?
Yeah, why? Let me see. Are you married still?
I'm married, yes, separated.
Okay. How many kids do you have?
One son.
Oh, okay. And I'm assuming he's grown, right?
And successful.
Yeah. Did he go into the military too?
Not at all. He could not stand the military because he saw what it did to his mama. I was trying to push it on him, and he was like, I'll be damned if I have anything ever to do with the military.
So what do you get out of YouTube? Like, what type of content do you gravitate towards on YouTube?
I gravitate toward the interaction. I gravitate toward the impulsivity that surrounds the interaction of our people engaging one another on panels, and sometimes I'm allowed to join.
That means you like nigga shit. Okay.
No. It's see, I'm glad you said that, because what it is a social experiment, to be honest with you. I mean, I told you I'm separated from my marriage. So What do I look like going out here, trying to freak around when I could just socialize safely? You see what I'm saying? Like, I don't have to hang out in no club to entertain myself with all types of strange people. The strange people I can encounter can be online, and I've encountered a lot of different ethnicities of strange people, but it doesn't negate the fact that I was raised a Black young lady. And of course, I'm going to gravitate toward Black people, no matter what the kind of ratchetness I have experienced and, dare I say, participated in. I'm Black. I'm Black. I mean, that goes without saying. So, I mean, I've had my
got
fun.
A little ratchetness on their resume. Yeah.
That doesn't. But as you get older, you experience self-control to such a degree where you know when to hold it and when to fold it. You just, sometimes it is exhilarating to, as they say out there, go in. Sometimes that is an adrenaline rush. And when I started looking at it for what it is, diminishment of my own people, I had to pump the brakes. I was like, I cannot keep sitting up here just waiting to F with people. You know what I'm saying? Right. I mean, because that doesn't serve health. That doesn't, because that's all I love is nutrition. So what is it seeking for somebody to be going off on each other? What does that have to do with nutrition? And so I was attracted to those situations, but they quite honestly were Caucasian people. They were East Indian people. They were, there's a lot of doctors out there that are talking about, that are being holistic health coaches, and they have very, very fruitful information to offer, but they're not Black. They're not Black. And sometimes you get tired of missing your people. You get tired of missing your people. And that's why I show up sometimes. That's why I am in fact entertaining as well as educating myself. However, because I'm Black, I do gravitate toward the, how can I put this, the affinity that I have for where I've come from. I've come from straight up, urban.
Or did you come from a two-parent home?
Yes. My mother and father were married. God rest my father's soul. Yes. My father, as a matter of fact, I was the apple of his eye. And a lot of people say they don't have a favorite child, but I beg to differ. And that's why I only had one. I was like, I'm not gonna sit up here and be picking no favorite child. I'm just not gonna do that. It's like I'm gonna have one, and I just gotta hope and pray he turns out all right. And thank goodness he did.
All right. Okay.
But I heard what you said about 8 different children by 8 different fathers. That is a terrible person to know.
All right.
That's got to be a terrible person. It's like, how can you be friends with somebody like that? That's a judgment.
That's crazy.
That's
more common. I think that's more common than what we want to acknowledge. Like, you know what I mean? And in our communities, like that's more, and now it may not be to that extreme, but the multiple partner fertility rate is definitely a problem. It's definitely an issue. I mean, and then look, don't get me wrong, because brothers have the highest multiple partner fertility rates out of all male demographics as well. You see, in this dysfunction, to see what you have a bunch of dysgenic breeding going on, and what this means is that the lower class of Blacks is out procreating everybody else. See, there are two Black Americas. The class divide in Black America is greater than the class divide any other place in American society. The matter of fact, the intra-race wealth gap is greater than the interracial wealth gap. So poverty has become concentrated in Black society, and consequently, that concentration of impoverishment are the ones who are doing all the procreating, which means you have more and more black children being born into that impoverished class. And this is why I spoke about that imbalance. See, like when the things I speak about, there's a certain segment of black society who views those things as white values, as whiteness. You see what I mean?
Well,
Okay,
I hear you. What you got to say, Chaos?
let me say this. To get on to what I put as the topic of this stream, in my viewpoint, and I think I tell us about, do we care about black life and black babies? This is my thing about it. To what is said by, not mention names, that, black life is only going to be determined by us. No outside entity is going to try to stain or save black life. In regards to what they complain about, the murder of black children through abortion, we all know that once you put certain bills and policy besides that you could do it, what's going to happen is people are going to make the decision that one time the state regulated, and it's going to be a point where the state's going to come back in and even more regulate more now because of the declined birth rate of the people that is the majority in this country. So that's what I see moving forward, and that's my perspective, and that's my understanding of it. Before anybody else speak on this, let me open up one more line. How you doing, Maximus?
Hey, what's going on, everybody? What's up, Chaos?
I'm good.
Hi.
Now, if anybody wants to respond to the topic at hand, I would appreciate it.
Who on the panel? Who we got now?
It's Mela over here. I'm focused on nutrition, but I was just reminded about the topic, so I guess I could talk about what they do with aborted fetuses and why our people are, just feeding the Caucasian system of death. Like that. They're using aborted fetuses for many atrocious things that they creep back into society. And to think that black women who are quote unquote killing their babies, they're actually feeding white society, the medical industry that's dominated most likely by Caucasian interests, and they're feeding that with the babies that they destroy. So that's a very touching subject. But anyway, it's Mello on the panel.
How you doing, Miss Mello? Is that Amiri up there?
Yes.
What's up, my brother?
Well, what's up, Max? How you doing?
What's going on? Hey, man, you ain't came by my channel yet, bro.
Yeah, I know, man. I gotta get over there, man. I gotta get over there.
Man.
Yeah. Right. When you be broadcasting? Just whenever you can,
usually on Thursday nights after
Thursday night.
Yeah,
okay.
Cerulean. But I'm going to pick another day soon. I'm probably going to be streaming on. I don't know. It's going to be between Friday and Saturday. I haven't made my mind up yet.
Okay. Oh yeah, I'm gonna catch it when I get a chance.
Okay, I appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
Two things going on here, right? We have a lot of knowledge about what's going on, what's happening, right? What black people are doing that they shouldn't be doing, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we haven't found a solution.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, these white people are savages. They eat these baby parts, man. They drink blood. They do all kinds of unspeakable things to these babies. This is why they want these babies and have these abortion clinics. Okay. Now, knowing that and knowing the information that we know, right? When are we going to start talking about doing something about it? All I hear on these panels are, endless information about what's going on, but I hear no information about what are we going to do about it. At some point, we're going to have to stop something from happening.
I made a solution, I offered as a suggestion a couple of days ago about arranged marriages, but that's going to take a whole, that means that leaving everybody else behind. And when I say that, I don't mean physically, it's just everybody that has low moral values. That's a wash. You got to get the children.
We can't.
I'm not talking about I'm talking about having like-minded families that have in schools, black schools, that where their children grow up together and then they choose amongst one another to pair with for proper development of a good family.
Okay, well, that would be good if the world was into being pro-choice, but the world isn't pro-choice anymore. It never was. It's about pro-survival now. Okay, we need every man, woman, and child that we can get. Leaving people behind is not an option. And I think that we need to start looking at different tactics and how we treat each other. Shaming people now for having multiple kids, that's not a good thing. We need all of our numbers. As a matter of fact, people who are having multiple children now are actually helping us out. They are keeping our birth rate above from going under replacement because our children are being aborted like there's no tomorrow. We don't have the luxury to sit up here and have some kind of fancy solution about leaving people behind. It's not going to work.
What I'm saying, and I'm glad you introduced your points. What I am suggesting is, in addition to the numbers that have been contributed to us, they have need of placement as well. And when I say placement, I'm talking about join the military or do some power move such as that. They have they have a right to be in a upward mobility.
Class.
They they have the right to have access to upward mobility echelons. Okay, and what I'm saying as to arranged marriages, like, so that this doesn't these multiple deaths don't, because I'm women don't usually abort when they're married. They don't usually do that. So if we're talking about abortion, the way to prevent abortion is to become married, and that's just not the end of it. What we have to do is consider everyone involved. And I was just trying to place more so a diagram as to how everything could be covered. I'm not suggesting, when I say leave behind, I'm talking about making sure that we designate categories. That's what I'm saying. Like, this category of married people with certain levels of morality are going to be depended upon to lead things forward. The people that are in, how can I put this, that come from broken home, otherwise known as broken homes, single parent homes, and where they have multiple fathers, multiple mothers, and what have you, they have a right to upward mobility as well. And therefore there are places in their lives that can be accommodated for them to have access to upward mobility, so we can take care of that as well. Every number counts. I just wanted to make that clear. I absolutely believe every number counts. There's strength in numbers. Of course I believe that. I'm going on mute.
Yeah, we already have a low class system. I don't think we need two of them. What we have to do is we have to start focusing on each other in the way we treat each other. We have to start caring about each other. We have to start valuing each other. What's going to stop abortion is caring, not marriage. Marriage can't. Marriage is not doing anything to stop abortion now. So I don't know what arranged marriages are going to do. But the problem is one of the biggest things that lead to abortion is people not caring. A lot of these women don't have the husbands or the boyfriends around to care about the child. They leave these women by themselves. These women get overwhelmed and they feel that no one cares about them, so they get rid of the child. We have to stop doing that. We have to put more value into our people. We have to start lifting our people up, instilling confidence in our people, and we have to come together as a group. Our very survival as a people depend on it, and it's getting worse. Okay, there's a new world forming out here. All this old rhetoric don't work anymore. All going back in time and talking about what happened in the feminist revolution and all that, that doesn't work anymore. Doesn't fly anymore. We need new rhetoric for the new time. We need new ideas and strategies for a new world that is going to be with us or without us.
All right. Well, we need to change. So, do you have solutions?
Absolutely. I just did you not hear me?
Because you're saying we need to do this, we need to do that, but there's
Yeah,
not,
yeah, yeah. You
there's,
see, when you need to do something, that means you have to. Okay, when someone says you need to do something, it means you
okay.
probably should do it.
I'm talking about a comprehensive strategy that is itemized. Do you have an
There is no.
itemized? Do you have an
You don't need.
itemized strategy?
You don't need an itemized anything. What you need to do is put one foot in front of the other.
Okay, so we just okay. All right, I get you.
Right. See, because right now we're not doing anything. Okay. We got to put one foot in front of the other first. Crawl before you can walk. Then we can get to all the itemization later on. But right now we got to move. Period. Right now we're dead in the water. We're sitting ducks, and we're getting picked off. And the biggest problem that we have is that we don't give a F about each other, and we look down on each other, and we think we're better than each other.
We already know that.
Excuse me?
We already know that.
Well, if we know it, then why do we continue to do it?
That's a good question.
Well, some people would call that stupid, right?
I don't want to think of our people as stupid. I do
Well, you
think we're
already think of
stagnant.
them as well.
I think we're I think we're stagnant. And my analogy is,
I don't understand how you will not think that they're stupid when you just sat up here and said that they should be separated, right, by their inabilities.
I said categorize.
Right, that's still separation. I wasn't born yesterday.
There are volumes of encyclopedias that are separated. That's what you're saying, but they're not.
It's still, we're not talking about inanimate objects.
Okay.
I'm talking about people, living, breathing people.
I think
that you just so casually separated because of either their misfortune.
Well, I offered. That's all I know.
I think
you offered a solution of class and separation.
I said nothing about class. Fellow military.
I do believe in separation about class because you talked about arranged marriages. That has to do with class.
Yeah, I believe in class.
Poor people don't have arranged marriages.
I believe in class though.
They're okay. Fine.
Basically, well, it's no different than having commoners, right, and noblemen. So you want the commoners to be all in one group and the noblemen to be in another group, or the noble people, right? And then the hierarchy after that, right?
No, that's not what I want.
Oh, well, that's basically what you're saying.
That's not what I want.
You want to have an arranged marriage. You want, because you feel that people can't make decisions on their own. That's basically what they did to the commoners back in right before the Dark Ages.
When I speak of arranged marriage, I'm not talking about the antiquities of the past. I'm not talking about the practices, the practices of the past. I think I was just speaking. I really do think I was just speaking.
Yeah, but maybe you don't know what you're speaking about, though.
Okay, I see what this is. I appreciate you too, fellow military veteran. I appreciate you too.
You're talking about arranged marriages. That means that you have to come to a conclusion that people can't make decisions on their own when it comes down to choosing a mate. That's what arranged marriage is all about. And you want this person to be with that person for a specific reason. Whether it be finances, whether it be prestige, whether it be this or that. That is class.
You do realize that I said like-minded, right? I didn't say anything about class. I said like-minded.
Well,
and you dismissed that like it was nothing.
No, because it isn't.
I said like-minded.
It isn't anything because it's just a distraction, right? From
So
people
says
realizing
you.
what you're really. No, it's a distraction.
So how is it a distraction?
It's a distraction from what you're really talking about, which is creating a class based off of someone else's decision.
Like-minded people
Yes, that
are
is a throw
creating a
off.
class.
That is a distraction.
Okay, like-minded people are
Actually,
creating a
if you
class.
go any
All
further with
right.
it, right? If you go any further, right? Basically, what you're saying is, okay, well, this monarchy right here gets to decide what this group of people are doing. If you want to say like-minded people,
Like-minded
who are the
people
like
create
who are the like blood
classes.
who are the like minded people?
I
The
could give
one
you a
percent
perfect example. I could give you a perfect example. As a matter of fact, the prince over there in England married a mixed woman.
don't live
She
in
didn't
England. I
come
live
from
here in
his
America.
environment.
I don't
See
care anything
what
about
you're
that.
what see you just mentioned how inanimate objects don't apply to this
I
conversation.
don't care
So
anything about what's going on in England. I care about what's going on here in this country with my own people.
when I accommodate you, you come up with another goalpost. That's what you do. You
No,
do
no, no,
realize that, right?
no.
You're
I
being
don't.
oppositional on purpose, and I don't know
I'm not
why.
being
I have no
oppositional.
idea. Yes, you are,
I'm not
sir.
being
You are.
oppositional. I just don't agree with your premise about things. That's all.
And yet you have yet to offer one of your own.
I just did. I don't know if you were listening or not.
No, you offered complaints, sir. You didn't offer
Those wasn't
solutions. You
complaints.
offered complaints.
I said
The
one thing we
what was
have
the
to
solution? What was the
do.
solution in your assertion? Where was it?
Okay.
You complain. That's what you're good at. You complain.
Okay, okay. Let's see how much of a complaint I did. Right. The first thing I said, right, was we need to care about each other more. That's a complaint. Is that a complaint?
I'm listening. I'm
I
listening to
also
you.
is that a yes or no?
You need me to comply to your yes or no. I'm listening to
Yes, I
you.
need to know. I
I'm
need to know if you.
listening.
I need
I
to
didn't
know if you
realize that
understand.
you were here for reassurance.
I
My
need to
bad.
know. No, I just need to
I
know if you
didn't
understand.
realize that you were here for validation. My bad.
No, I just need to know if you understand English or not.
And there it is.
Right.
There it is.
I said that now. Now,
You
what
know
I
you
said that
there
was
it
clear
is.
was
That's your
we need to
brain
care.
matter. I was just talking about nutrition. I was just
Okay,
talking about
so
nutrition.
let me
So,
get my.
there's something going
I
on
thought
with
I
you.
was giving my solution that you said I didn't give, which I clearly did. Since you're hard of hearing or don't understand what you hear, let me say it again. I started with we need to care about each other more. Now, you said that was a complaint. I said that we need to instill confidence in each other. That's a complaint. Yes, no?
What you are not offering are
When
solutions.
you have you ever put your hand right and
You're
to
not
hit your
offering solutions, are you? Yes or no?
I just said
You're
we
not
need
offering
to
solutions.
care about each other more. If we care about each other more, things will change, right?
That's
Between
not
us.
a solution.
If we
That's a
instill
suggestion. There's a difference between a
if
solution and a
we
suggestion, sir.
if we
You do know
instill
that. You're not
confidence,
hard of hearing, are you?
if we
You're
instill
not hard of hearing,
confidence,
are you?
if we instill
There's a
confidence
difference
in each
between a
other,
solution and a suggestion,
if we instill confidence in each
unless
other,
you're hard of
right?
hearing.
That will bring about change. You see, the things that I'm saying will bring about change. Okay? In order to have a solution, you have to first have change. It's kind of like, what comes before life, right? Before you can have life, there must be destruction, right? So in order to have a
I
solution,
tell you what.
you have to have
I tell you
change.
what. I think you gentlemen should tell me if you would feel more comfortable if I left the panel so that you can have um, more details exchanged amongst you, because I noticed that a lot of when a woman is on the panel with men that want to make their point, there is, you know, there's this like, you know, there's some type of hesitation. So I could just go.
No, you could say right there,
Who's
Mela.
hesitating?
Mela, hello, hold on. Let me say something. No one's running.
Who's
You
hesitating?
you could stay Mela, and nobody's running nobody off no panel. I like to hear people's perspective, solutions, and all the above. Thank you.
I think that I don't know who. I guess he'll jump back on because sometimes technical difficulties happen. But I can honor the necessity of Black men, you know, speaking their piece amongst one another without the interruption or the distraction, as we justifiably announce. I think I am the distraction because I am a female. I am a woman. I think I am the distraction that's preventing you guys from chopping it up in a more effective way. And I'm saying that wholeheartedly for real. So I'm not dropping off. I'm just saying, like, maybe it's a good idea that y'all just chop it up and I'll just listen.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
One
it's
thing,
not a problem.
I would say this. Before continue on this talking, I know you noticed I did the stream with the food, the GMO food. The bird that wrote that book, he is going to have a full copy of that book. I'm hoping that he'll finish it this year, God willing. So the stream I did, there was just a sample of the genetic part, the wild indigenous food. I didn't go too much into it because the book was very lengthy, Mela. I think it's like almost 200 pages long. And he goes into the root cause of disease, the genetic part of it, and what it does affect the biology of the person eating these foods. And the funny thing about all this, when I did that stream, I got one negative comment out of all the streams I did. And you know what the comment was, Mela?
I can't wait to hear it.
Can you hear me? He said, as long as, let me pull it up. Kind of want to say it, Rebecca. I want to make sure I'm straight. What I'm saying. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna pull it right now. Let me find it. Give me 1 second. This person in the comment section, and he wrote through his words. I'm gonna scroll down. Okay. And I was gonna respond, but after a while, talking to some of my friends, I said not to bother. I just left it alone. He said, "Devitalized food, ha ha ha." All
what happened to the topic, Chaos?
All food is real. If it can't be digested, you stupid video describes sentences has just been debunked as a conspired trash.
Oh
You
wow!
didn't respond to anybody like that.
No,
I
didn't
respond. Topic, man.
I was not respond, but the only reason I just bring that to the point that where people's heads at, because I put out certain information. If you're gonna say that it was stupid and debunk, please give me reference.
Yeah,
you know,
right.
Instead of the emotion. You get me? That's the
point. Yeah. That was definitely an emotional comment. Definitely.
Something wrong with emotions.
Now, when I say impulsive, they didn't give it enough thought.
Something wrong with impulses either.
All right, you back, Amiri? What happened?
Well, you do realize that people impulsively abort babies, so
it depends on what you interpret as impulsive or emotional.
I just kind of spoke two different scenarios where it's impulsive to react to a video with a comment that doesn't follow up with a reference. Also, as far as an abortion, it's irresponsible, dare I say, impulsive to kill your fetus just because you think you're going to encounter some hard times being a single parent. Those are two examples of impulsivity.
But you see, that statement is made out of blatant and blithering ignorance.
You know what, brother? You know what, fellow veteran brother? You just like being contrary.
No, I'm just saying.
Yeah, you do. You like it. You like it. You like it. You like it.
No, it's made out of ignorance because you don't know why that woman killed her baby. You don't know what she's suffering from. You don't know. So your statement is out of ignorance.
My statement.
A lot of a lot of these women use abortion as a form of birth control. They're having reckless casual sex, and then it's like, oh
Some of
shit,
them,
it's like the Plan
right?
B
Some of them are also
with
suffering
a
from
slash in it. You know
some
what
of them are
I'm
also, yeah, but some of them are also suffering from undiagnosed postpartum depression as well.
Before or
well,
after
that's what.
before or after the baby? What are you,
Man,
postpartum is after birth.
these
You
women
know
need to
what?
learn to keep their legs closed,
We
man.
are
You
talking
know
you
what I'm
about
just
we are
made
saying?
an
talking about
ignorant statement. You just made an ignorant statement yourself. Come
They
on
need to
now.
keep their legs. Hey, they need to learn to keep their legs. I'm gonna get flagrant with it. Keep your fucking legs closed, man. You know what I'm saying? Stop it. You know, I don't. I look
Virgins for
politically.
everybody.
I'm pro-choice. You know,
and then you
politically,
have
but I'm pro-life. But politically,
and then
I'm pro-choice. You know
you
what
have
I'm
a
saying?
lot of
People.
women, right? Putting up in the mirror, you have a lot of women suffering from mental illness,
Yeah, they do.
legitimate mental illness.
Yeah, but that's why they need to go get help. Like they need to go get help. They're like the cure
So
for mental illness ain't a heaping helping a dick. You see what I'm saying? Like you
Yeah,
need
well,
to go to the
so
doctor, baby
some of
girl.
them don't have, some of them
so the
don't have
mental
like the
illness
right
is
people
what's
behind them.
causing women.
Some of them don't
So
have the right people behind them, or like a
the
support system
I know
where
what
they
you're
can
trying to
help
do,
them
but
out.
that's cool. So
They
the
don't have a
mental
support
illness
system
is
around them or anything.
about women who
And then
abort
some
their
of them
baby.
don't know. Some of them
Women
don't know
who
that they're
abort
actually
their
suffering from
baby.
anything.
It's likewise, bro.
You know, some of them don't
The
actually know they're suffering
they
from anything.
abort their children because they're
And then
suffering from
also you
mental
got to look at
illness.
depression too, depending on what situation she's in.
I know
If
your
there's no baby
tactics, sir.
father,
I've witnessed
if
you and
there's no baby
Arthur.
father, or
I've witnessed you and Arthur doing the
in
same thing on RBR's channel. I'm not ignorant
there's no
as to who
baby,
and what you are, sir.
especially if she don't.
Mela, are you
I know
subscribed to
his
my channel?
tactics. No,
And then she can't like,
I am
See now,
they come
subscribed,
from
but I
different
don't.
backgrounds and they're applying
I'm
for a lot of
offended
things.
now. You ain't subscribed to my channel.
That's
All right,
Arthur. I am
okay.
subscribed to your channel. What I don't do is pretend
And
like
then
I'm lying
like
about something.
they
I don't pretend like I'm gonna practice a tactic that nobody is aware of. I'm
I
aware,
was watching. You know
Mr.
what? I was
Maximum
watching
Black.
a
Maximum Black.
video
I'm
one time
aware. I'm
where a
What's
girl
going?
aware
tried to
of your
What
kill
is
the
it with
tactics.
you
baby
two?
inside the
What is
crib.
it with you two? What's up?
I'm aware of
I
With
was
his
all this
watching a
tactics.
sexual
video one time
tension?
where there was a girl in the
I'm
hospital
aware of his
and she was
tactics.
sitting there with her baby. I think she had like
See, there you go. That's what he resorts
I,
to.
I
He's
think her
on.
baby was like 6 months
He's
old.
like on, like,
And
you
whenever
might
the
as well put
people
the
left
car
out of the
in
room, she
neutral.
tried
You
to
might as well put
suffocate the
the car
baby.
in neutral because you're not
She tried
going
to suffocate the
anywhere.
baby,
You're
right? And
not
then when they
going
finally caught
anywhere.
her,
Put the car
What's
in
going?
one of
neutral.
the things that she
Put the
said
car
was the
in
reason why she
neutral,
tried to kill
Maximum
the
Black.
baby
Put the car in
was that
neutral.
she was
What is
Okay?
it
stressed
with
out.
y'all?
Because you're trying to rev up. You're trying to rev up and go forward, and you're not doing it effectively,
And
Maximum
one of
Black.
the reasons
Put
why
the
she said
car
she
in
tried to
neutral.
kill the baby is
Uh-huh.
because she was stressed out because the father wouldn't help her, and she was stressed out and she didn't know what to do. That was one of the things that drove her to try
Is
to
that
kill
your
that baby.
story? Is that your story? Like you were married to
And she
somebody
did
like
it.
that?
She did it 3 times when she was in the
Oh,
hospital.
oh.
And the third time they finally caught her.
Mm.
And and her reply was she was stressed out. She didn't know what to do. She didn't know how to take care of the baby, and the father wouldn't help her.
Mm.
And that drove her to try to suffocate that baby in that hospital.
Damn.
You know,
You just got to get all morbid and shit, huh?
stress is a real thing in people's lives, man. So we don't know what they're going through and what causes them to commit these unspeakable acts.
Regardless of the fact that it
It's not
takes two.
always, a
It
woman
takes
just laying
two to
down.
it takes
It's not
two.
always a woman just laying
So
down, opening up her legs, right?
the
It's the
abandonment isn't a
abuse.
factor, right?
Some women go through years of abuse and it screws up their mind,
Well, I'm glad I
and they
haven't
become
experienced
afraid
anything that you
and
talking
things like
about
that.
tonight, because I would be really messed up if
So
I
that's why,
experienced.
I reserve judgment
I
on
hope
people until I
I
have
don't
all of the
experience
facts,
anything you're talking about in my
because I
family,
don't know. I
because
don't know
I
what
would
they're
be
going through.
like, what the heck is that about? Why my family? Why did it happen to my family? Dang, out of all the families, why did it happen to my family? So
So,
I
Amira, you
think you
said you
can
was
relate to
pro-choice.
what you were saying. I think you can relate to what you're saying. on so many levels that you won't directly announce. That's what I think. The silence. So, this is about aborting children. And who's pro-choice or who's pro-life? Or is this about why Black people abort, why Black women abort their children? He might be looking up some research information. Give him a shot. Just exercise some patience. Just exercise some patience, sir. Perhaps he's looking something up.
Are you there?
Perhaps they're looking something up that's relevant to the topic.
No. Actually, I was moving back and forth. Wait, somebody wrote something. Give me a second. Come in chat right now. Let me see what's going on.
Yeah.
Exactly. People can't just babysit you, Maximum Black. They just can't babysit you.
Why does she keep why she keeps talking while I'm talking?
As if you didn't do the same.
I was sitting there talking to Amiri, and you interrupted me the whole time while I was talking to him. Wasn't even talking to you.
Fine.
You can't even exercise a mental constraint.
If you say so.
You just demonstrated that.
Not necessarily.
Okay.
Yes, you did.
I'm back. All right. Got it.
Oh, my bad. I would like to say this. Let's keep in mind.
Come on, man. She's gonna keep talking the whole time.
I did. There you are.
She hasn't stopped talking yet,
Let's
bro.
keep in mind. She
talked the whole time I was talking to Amiri. She won't stop. Dude, really?
Because you're making false accusations.
Nobody making no false accusations.
Yes,
you
just
are. Showed that you have no mental constraint. You talked the whole time. I talked to him. He can play the tape back.
And if he plays the tape back,
the whole time I was talking to Amiri about the girl in the hospital, you kept talking and trying to stop me from talking to him.
I announced your tactics, did I not?
And you kept interrupting.
I announced your tactics. That's what I did.
Okay, that's silly. That's silly and trifling.
Well, you know what?
Like it
takes one to know one, sir.
I was talking.
It takes one to know one.
The conversation had nothing to do with you, but yet you interjected yourself and tried to interrupt that conversation as best you could. That's childish and immature.
Not necessarily.
And shows no mental constraint.
Not necessarily.
We can play the tape back.
You're practicing a tactic. God bless you again. You're practicing a tactic, Maximum Black.
She won't stop. Yo, man, what is going on, bro? I thought we was going to have a discussion about the topic.
I'm back just listening right now. Y'all going back.
And you know me. Chaos. I'm trying to be a gentleman at the moment, bro.
I know, but let me stop for a second. Let's read from it. Read from it. I know we go on to the topic. I said my piece. Mela brought her piece into discussion, and I believe you brought your piece to discussion. And now this is my thing with the value of life. On the stream, sometimes I don't go by solutions. I could recommend a solution, but most people pick it or go with it. But who this? At the end of the day, this can be easily solved, but it's going to take work for both of us. You know what I'm saying? Both men and women, to correct this little problem, and really it's going to go further with the policy, because once you put certain things where it's okay, it's okay now, you could do it and promote it. It can be a problem because most people feel it's a good thing and they're going to do what's good, but don't know the consequence down the line. Especially some of the women that know, if you're a woman that use abortion as a form of concept, which some of them do, not all, but a good portion do, there's consequence to that. I know one woman, and I never told you this, because no one told me this. She had I think almost 8 or 9 abortions. And the last one she had, she carried almost full term, and she just terminated. Now, the reason why she do it goes back again, a mental illness, or that's my only logic to that. Because if you're gonna carry a baby all the way and just terminate, that's some low level. But she didn't get prosecuted because some people, when you do that, that's considered for murder. But in certain states, I don't know. But that's my thing. Roger, do you want to come upstairs? I get the link. Yeah, guys, continue talking so I can find the link.
I do think a lot of them suffer from mental illness. Some of the mental illnesses are undiagnosed. They do Black women any old kind of way. Most Black women don't have a support system. It's not like back in the 60s and the 70s where there was a stronger family structure, so there was a heavier support system for Black women. There was a lot of people that can go to. There were family members, there were mothers and aunties and grandmothers, and now it's different now.
Hello, Roger. I guess when you get your mic ready. Okay. Yeah, man. Yeah, Max. It's different 50 years ago.
Yeah, it's different now. Yeah, it is.
How we do life now, even back then to now. And wait, I hear breathe. Who's breathing? Is that you, Roger?
Could have been me. I was just connecting on.
Okay.
I mean, looking at the title of the show, I actually just started tuning in maybe 5-10 minutes ago. When it comes to the abortion issue, I mean, I'm a man, so I kind of leave that more toward the women, because at the end of the day, they got to make a decision on what they feel is right. And there's different things that play into it, because are you destroying a child, or are you just destroying biological property? What's your feeling on when does God put the soul in the child? It's different things to conceptualize when you're talking about an unborn child. So I think, if you're not comfortable with the decision to abort, then I don't think a woman should. But if a woman is comfortable with the decision to abort, me being a pro-freedom person, I'm not gonna make an issue for a woman if she aborts a child, because I'll never be a woman and I'll never be in that position. So I'm not gonna really make an issue over it. Now, when it comes to the question of do the women really love the children, or I'll put it like this, I like to deal in what I do know. If we look at how children are being treated, I'm talking about the ones that are born. Now, when it comes to our community, are the way the children being treated, does that kind of seem like women really kind of love their children, or does it seem like they do just enough to have a decent image? Because Black women are very image conscious. So, based in my opinion, the way a lot of them are treating their children, I can see why abortion isn't a big deal to maybe some, because they don't really like the kids anyway. The kids were unplanned. They had no intention of providing for the children, especially when you talk about people that have the state involved with the raising of their child. And this is how I look at it. And people, I may catch flack for this, but I look at things the way they are. If you're receiving monies or if you're receiving assistance in any form from the state, okay.
Did he get cut off? Chaos, did he get cut off?
Yeah, Roger probably stepped out. He had to handle something. He'll be back. Back. Yeah.
Something interesting about what he said, right? He said about the child being unborn. In order for something to develop and grow, it needs life. You can't develop or grow without life. Nothing dead grows or develops. So I'm not sure what he meant by when God puts the soul in the baby. The soul is at conception. Because in order for it to advance from one stage to another, it needs life to do that. So nothing grows without life. Death doesn't
That
grow.
to me, that makes sense to me. But what I'm saying is, when you're the woman who's in that position to, because you have to make that decision. The man cannot make the decision for you. He can influence you. At the end of the day, the man can't make the decision for you. So as the woman, she's gonna have to determine what she believes and make a decision from there. So
Okay, so basically
you
what you're
know,
saying is that the man has no say so whatsoever in the decision with the child, even though the man is the one that impregnated her, right? He has no say so
no,
whatsoever.
what I'm saying is, from a legal perspective, he really doesn't. He can say whatever he wants. She's gonna do
Okay,
what
well
she
then
wants to
let's
do at
get rid
the
of
end.
child support because the
Me
man has no
myself,
say so, and it has, yeah. It's just the man has no say so and has no room to say anything and can't tell her what to do and all that. Then let's just get rid of child support. Let's get rid of
well,
child support altogether, right? Let's get rid of the
I'm
deadbeat
not,
dad thing.
well, I'm not against child support being removed, because honestly, I look at it something that really should only exist for people who entered into a marriage in the first place. Child support for people who didn't even
If
get married really don't
right,
make any sense at all.
if the man has no say so at all when it comes down to the children, then the man should have no responsibility whatsoever to the woman. Period.
What's it? I totally understand where you're coming from. The way I look at it is this: if two people can make a baby, two people can figure out how to get that baby taken care of, and we don't need to be involved in it. We would mean the state, because the state is just a certain structure that we the people have. The government is owned by the people. People forget that sometimes, but the government is owned by the people. So we as a state, I don't really feel we should be in your business when it comes to your child. If you make a baby with someone, you're an adult. The other person's adult. If two adults make a baby, and it really
I
shouldn't be our business.
I don't think the man should be responsible or held accountable if he doesn't have a say so um, um, with the child. If the woman, if everything's on the woman and the father has no say so whatsoever, why should? First of all, why are we calling him a father?
No, what I'm saying, what you're saying is very legitimate, but that's why I agree that, well, that's why I'm saying that when it comes down to it, if two people make a baby, those two people should figure it out. The state shouldn't
Hmm.
be involved at all. If the state's not involved, you don't have child support.
Right. Stay out
You
of
see what I'm
it.
saying? They got to
Yeah.
figure that out.
Right. If he have any say so, then then uh, then why is he held responsible as a father? Shouldn't be the father.
Well,
He has
my
no
thing is,
rights.
no, I totally get what you're saying. I totally get
Hmm.
what you're saying, and I have no issue with that. But me being a pro freedom person, my thing is, any rule you set should be a fair rule. So the only way it's fair and you have actual freedom as a person, if you make a baby, you figure it out. I personally don't feel like my tax dollars should be wasted on something as, in my opinion, trivial as child support. I don't think
Okay,
that's a. I think that's a waste of money.
And
I
you talk
think
about fair laws. I'm saying, right, if two people make the baby a man and a woman, then they both
mhm.
should have a say when it comes down to that child. Now, if it's lopsided and the woman has all of the say and the father has none, then okay, let's get rid of the titles. He's no longer the father and is no longer obligated or responsible for anything.
Well, no, I get what you're saying,
Simple as
and
that.
see, I'm not against that because at the end of the day, I don't agree with certain laws that are not fair to both parties. I only agree to what's fair to both people. And for me, as a person that values freedom, I'm not gonna say people shouldn't be free to have a baby if they want to. That's their personal right, their choice. But if you use your freedom to have a child, it's up to you to figure out how that child gets taken care of. I don't believe in putting the responsibility of the child on the state. You see what I'm saying? So
Come on,
not
you.
only would child support
Mhm.
be eliminated if we would if the state agreed with me, there'll be other things change because I don't think it's the state's job to get a child taken care of.
Right.
I think you're right.
Well, she gets the abortion, then he's no longer the father anyway. So,
I mean, but at the end of the day, when it comes to the abortion, it's really just an issue of what the woman believes in and what she's willing to do. Because, you know, no man is going to be a woman that can have a baby. The only reason I'm kind of okay with the fact that a woman gets to make that determination because it is her body. And as a person who believes in freedom, the way the Constitution was even written, if we were going by the way it was supposed where it was supposed to be going by, you have a right to do anything you want to do unless you are harming another individual or another individual's property. So what a person does with their own body is not my business. If she has an abortion, it's her body. I can't really say nothing to her about it. The same way if a person were to take drugs, if you take cocaine, if you're in your own body and you're at home, you're not threatening the safety of others, it's really not my business that you're taking cocaine. Now, would I recommend you take cocaine? No. What my advice is, I shouldn't have no rule or say so if you can take
hmm.
cocaine. It's if you possess cocaine, I don't have a problem with it. But you know the way the law set up, they say possession of drugs is illegal. Well, I believe people own their own bodies, and if you own your own body, you can hold anything you want. So my thing is, we as a people need to let stuff like that go, and I believe we as a people should agree to let people run their own lives the way they want to, as long as they're not hurting other people. So if two
But
people
then,
have a baby, it should be up to those two people to figure out how to take care of that baby.
yeah, but a baby is a person. It's a human being. It's life. It has to be protected. It can't protect itself.
Yes, but technically a baby would be the biological property of those two parents. That's their
But it
property,
is
so
still
they
a
can raise their
human.
child however they
Right.
see fit.
Right. Right. Life isn't property though.
I'm not saying it is, but the way things are written up, and because you're not an emancipated person until you're 18 years old, you have to classify things as something. So if you cannot be held responsible for yourself until you're 18, that means where you come from, you're their responsibility, which means your parents. So you're basically owned by your parents until you become 18. So
Right. And
those
then when.
parents that own that child have the responsibility to take care of that child. How they
Right.
choose to do that is their business. How they choose to pay
Uh,
for it is their business.
I
Hi.
I'm with you
Hi.
up until that point. I think that if they choose to kill the baby, then they should be put up on charges and put in jail.
You think women who abort
What
children should be
well
put in
hold on though.
jail?
Yes.
Well hold on, but let
Okay,
me say
just wanted to
this.
get that on record.
Rem, Remember when I said the law, the way the Constitution is written, you want and you hurt another person or their property. If you're hurting a child, you're still you're hurting someone at that point. And if the child is already born, you got two parents. One parent ain't gonna agree to let their child be killed. So therefore you cannot kill somebody's child.
But they're the same two parents, right? When the child was developing in the womb.
But at that point, it's still technically up to the woman because it's an effect of her body. So I understand that argument. There's no way for a man to win that argument because that baby is still dependent upon that woman, and that baby's still affecting that woman. So my thing is,
Are
a
we
woman should
saying
have the baby or not.
That's the natural path of life.
okay?
No, I mean I understand. I understand that, but the baby is not born as of yet. So my thing is,
But
as a man, can I tell a woman not to have the baby that not to abort the baby that she wants to abort?
we're just playing semantics here. The child is still developed. There's life in the child. The child wouldn't be developing otherwise.
No, bro, I'm not disagreeing with that point at all. What I'm saying is everything has to be classified as something. At the end of the day, you got to fit into some kind of category. So
yeah, I hear what you're saying too. Yeah.
He doesn't understand the middle ground.
There is no middle ground.
Well, actually, there is.
What do you mean by middle ground?
What I mean by middle ground is the fact that miscarriages occur, and that's how the law was able to be manipulated into what exists today. It is determined that in the event of an unsuccessful planned pregnancy, there is what's called a miscarriage. So if a woman has the quote unquote right to experience a miscarriage, what say you that she may also have the right to induce the miscarriage? And that's why the law exists. It's her choice. It's her body. It's her choice.
So I want to go back to what you were saying. What's your name, brother? What's your name, brother, again?
This is Roger.
Okay, Roger. Yeah, I hear what you're saying, right? When you're talking about the state, okay, they do classify these things, but the issue to me shouldn't be a state issue at all. It should be a human issue. Okay, it's a human issue, and like you said, they shouldn't be involved at all. Period. It's a human issue. The law is there to protect innocent life. A child is an innocent life. That's what it is.
I mean, but what the laws in general were designed to protect women and children because men had all the power when they started setting the laws up. But now that we have where both people have power at this point, now laws are in place to protect people. So at the end of the day, if we follow the law and let people take care of their own responsibilities, what you do is you eliminate a lot of factors without a bunch of hypocrisy. If we say if we say no, the man can't tell the woman what to do because it's her body, okay, yes, we'll have to agree to that because it is her body. But see, now once that child is born, child support is not even a discussion because it's not up to the state to be involved with how these two people get their child taken care of. They either do it or they don't, but it's up to them to make it happen. If they can't come to an agreement between themselves, that's their problem. They have to figure that out, but the state is not involved to help them figure that out.
Yeah, but you see, we you see, that's a really, really, really slippery thing here. You know, we're playing God on one hand, okay? We're saying that we can't protect innocent life because it's inside of a person's body. It's still an innocent life. If that's the case, you know what? Let's do away with certain laws like murder and rape and stuff like that. Let's get rid of those laws.
Well, that's different because
since we don't want since we don't want to protect innocent life. Well,
it's not the same
people,
thing.
No,
it is the same thing.
When you murder someone,
if a woman walking around minding her own business, right, that is an innocent person. That is an innocent life, right? There's laws in place to protect.
You did say walking, right? You did say walking. You didn't say fetus.
Right? So,
I see where you're coming from.
So
technically correct.
Right, a child is an innocent life, and it should be protected. If we're not going to protect the innocent life, then let's get rid of the laws. Period.
You're being extreme for no reason.
Let's get rid of the laws.
You're being extreme for no reason.
Let's get rid of the law for rape. Let's get rid of the law for murder.
You're being extreme for dramatic effect. You're being dramatic.
Since we don't want to protect innocent life.
You're being dramatic.
Because I don't think that's extreme.
You're being dramatic.
I don't think he's being extreme because if you look at what he's saying seriously. Now, see, my thing is,
Did he cut off there?
No, Roger, what happened? Did you mute yourself? Not? I think Roger
I
muted
think
his
he
mic.
may have fell out. Hopefully he didn't fall off because he's having a
No,
good
no.
discussion.
Roger, if you're talking, your line might be going in and out.
Yeah.
I'm not sure using a cell phone or a computer because it will interrupt when he's talking. He has that sometimes. Yeah. You know, all people, you know. Oh yeah, he's gonna come back. His
He'll come back. We're having a good discussion, man. He's a cool brother, man. It's good discussion going on.
Roger's cool. He's cool.
Yeah. It's pretty cool.
You know, it's interesting that you said that they should get locked up on Max.
Yeah,
if
they should.
You know, it's funny. This country really protects women in a way where that doesn't.
Yeah, but why are laws
in
place? Why we have laws in place, Chaos, to stop?
I have no idea.
Stop certain things.
Yeah, that's true.
If we're not going to protect all innocent life, right? Then okay, let's do away with the laws. Let's go straight anarchy. Get rid of all the laws.
That would be interesting, though. I doubt that's going to happen.
Toss them all out the window. We ain't uphold them no way.
Nope. I beg to differ. I beg to differ.
Yeah, this is true. And you know, it's funny that you know our people are more morale than other race people. So you know, to do away the laws, I'm saying.
Yep, do away with them. I say get rid of all of them.
I don't know, man.
Get rid of them all. So if you want to kill babies and don't want to like get rid of all of them. We don't need them.
Interesting though.
I'm not worried about it because I can protect myself. I'm strapped up.
Oh yeah, I know.
Get rid of all of them.
Yeah.
They don't serve any purpose.
Indeed. Let me check who's in the chat room. I can see. Peace to the panel chat. This is I think that's Aiden Cody Jane 79. Yeah, we got a lot of people from the, you know, I think they're part of the regime or just the symbol. Yeah. But Maximus, like I said, Mela did serve in the Air Force. So I'm around people that's been in the service, man. And it's kind of good that people meet with the minds and have different views and discussions, you know, and nothing wrong with that. You know, I think one thing the military teaches well is a sense of and I'm not sure if you can agree with me, Mela. I'm not sure what branch the military you serve again, Max. But
me, I'm Navy.
Navy, okay. Do they teach military science in all avenues of depending what part you serve in the military? Or is only a certain
they do in the Navy.
Oh, in the Navy. Okay. Yeah.
I can't speak for the other armed forces.
Okay. Yeah. Mela?
Aim high. That's what we do. We aim high. So, you know.
Okay.
That's what it is. As a matter of fact, the Air Force has the greatest budget of any branch of the armed services.
They also have the greatest number of drug addicts too.
Oh gosh.
And do you have a reference for that?
Yep.
Or are you just saying stuff like you usually do?
Oh, it's true.
Out of frustration or whatever you're going through with your nutritional deficiencies.
I'm not frustrated.
Well, you're nutrient deficient or something because there was no need for your sarcasm. There was no need for that.
It wasn't sarcasm. It's a fact.
Based on what reference, sir?
Based off of
your
a lot of
opinion.
Information that comes
Let
from...
me guess what you conjured up in your mind.
Nope.
Your nutrient deficient mind. That's what you just did.
Deficient.
I'm sure it's not. I'm going on mute.
She always talk about people she don't know. It's a friend of yours, Chaos?
Oh no, this is one of my subscribers. One of my loving
She's
subscribers.
Always this ignorant.
Roger, I've had a conversation with our previous panelist that hopefully will jump back on soon. I don't, maybe he can testify as to whether or not I'm ignorant, and then I'll have to accept the conclusion. But thanks for your investigation.
I can hear the ignorance myself. I don't need to hear from anyone else.
How is it that you can hear that I'm ignorant?
Because
That's ignorant.
Talking.
That's an ignorant statement right there. You can hear that I'm ignorant.
You can hear in the idiotic things you say.
Idiotic. Yes. Okay. Well, you know,
like talking to someone and telling them that their mind is nutrient deficient. You don't know me.
Yeah.
You don't know my body cover. You don't know anything. You don't know my medical records. You don't know anything.
You don't know anything about me.
I didn't say I did, except for the fact that you're ignorant. I know that.
You're ignorant as well.
We all are ignorant.
Exactly. So you're not insulting me. I'm just having dialogue with you. That's it.
Probably the first smartest thing. The smartest
thing
you said all night.
Hush up. Just hush. Because you trying to talk to somebody as if they don't know what they're talking about.
You don't know what you're talking about.
And you don't either. You're guessing.
I'm not.
Yes, you are. You have yet to offer solutions. You've offered
you don't know what a solution
suggestions.
Is. You can't even tell the difference between a statement and a complaint.
Basically, you didn't offer solutions. How about that?
You said I was making complaints.
You did not offer solutions, did you?
You said yes I was making complaints. I did.
Isn't that your favorite follow-up?
I did
yes
offer
or
a
no?
solution.
No, you did not.
I did offer. You don't understand what I'm saying. It's like the brother was just telling you, right? You don't understand what I'm saying.
You're ignorant as well. You're ignorant as well.
Just like you just said, right, that I was going to the extreme, right?
Just fess up. Just fess up. You're ignorant as well. I'm going on mute.
Back. Stay on mute, please.
Yeah, Roger, back. Roger, hear me?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah. You dropped off. I'm sure you're off, but go ahead.
Yeah, I'm on the phone and somebody was trying to call me.
Okay.
Well, see, I think the thing is we have to get to dealing with more fundamental issues and not be so about what our opinion is or what our opinion isn't. Because as I was trying to tell you guys, okay, if two people have a baby, but see, I'm a pro-freedom person. I believe in people having their freedom. So person A and person B have a baby.
I'm pro-life.
No, I mean, and there's no. If you're going to have freedom, unfortunately, you have to sometimes protect people's immorality to people's moralities. You know, because people act. You know, people say morality is a subjective thing. So at the end of the day, if two people have a baby, I'm not the father and I'm not the mother. That baby don't belong to me. It's none of my business. So I have an issue with the money as I pay taxes take care of things around me. So let's say, you know what I'm saying, I got potholes in the street. Okay. These potholes that I have to drive past, over, through, however, these potholes are more important to me because I'm part of the public. The public owns the street. I'd rather my money be used to fix potholes than to have some judge mitigating between some woman and some man.
I think you went out again.
Judge is supposed to be this that I need done as part of me being the public that owns the government. It is not my business as a random man to make decisions about somebody else's child. It's not my business. If we get down to more fundamental, go away. So fundamentally, it's not my business to tell you whether you can have an abortion or not.
Well, let me ask you this.
Go ahead.
If you are a police officer, right?
Mm-hmm.
And someone's child is in danger and you go in to save that child, isn't that making a decision about someone else's child?
Yes, that is, but that's a particular person power to be protective over property. That's what a police officer is at the end of the day. He's an agent of the people. We own the police officer. He takes that job. He's a government employee, so that's my employee. Any police officer that works in my city are my employees. I've employed them to help protect property from those who are trying to damage people's property, whether it be personal property, meaning their body.
But that would
You know what I'm saying?
be
You don't have the
that.
right to damage a person's body
But
or their
that.
property.
But that would be a law that protects what?
It will, yes, it will protect a person. Yes, if that's what you're going for, right? It will protect the person.
Yeah.
This is what I'm saying. When it comes to the baby, you have this one factor that you just can't get away from. Until that baby is born, that baby is attached to that woman. So how can
Well,
you start dictating to her what to do with her body?
because the baby is an innocent life that can't protect itself, didn't ask to be here, right? And there are laws that are in place to protect innocent life. And a baby qualifies as innocent life.
I totally understand where you're coming from. But if you say the state has enough power to tell a woman to have power, now where are you putting the state versus the people? The people own the state. The state don't own the people. The state can't tell a person to do something the person doesn't want to do. And because that is a fundamental right that I am unwilling to give up, I have to concede to a woman who chooses to have an abortion.
You know, at one
Because
point,
I'm not going to let the
abortion,
state tell me what to do.
you know, at one point they had it right. Abortion was outlawed because it was considered murder.
No, I mean I understand that, but what I'm trying to say to you from a fundamental standpoint, if I go into agreement that a state can tell a person what to do with his body, that means anything else that the state tells a I have to be okay with. The state could say anything at that point. I'm never going to agree that the state has the ability to tell a person what to do with its body. I'm never going to make that agreement. I
Well,
understand, unfortunately, a child may get hurt in the process, but I can't protect everything, so I'm going to protect as much as I can.
okay, then do you know what we should do then? Let's just get rid of exceptions. There should be no more exceptions. No more exceptions to any rules. No more exceptions, period. Because if we're saying that a person, we can't tell a person to do um, to do what with their body, except in the particular situation, then let's just get rid of all of the laws and the exceptions.
Mm.
I mean,
I'm
honestly,
gonna offer a gift.
Because there's a lot of situations, right, that we say, okay, well, you can't do this except. You can go here except, like you said, right? You okay with certain things, right? Unless it harms other people. That's an exception.
I'm gonna offer a gift of
Okay,
science.
so if you're going to make that exception, right, then why can we make that exception in the case of an innocent life, such as a baby?
well, I said, see, the only trick bag about the baby is still inside the woman. Now you're trying to take control over the woman.
No, no,
You
no. We're
you
protecting
can't
the
get away
innocent
from that.
life.
No,
We're
he's not
protecting
trying to
the
take
innocent.
over the woman. He
We're
has a
protecting the
belief.
innocent life. We're protecting the
He has
innocent
a
life.
belief.
We're protecting the innocent life that's inside her body. That's a natural part of life, right? That the baby
And
has to go through, right, in order to be born.
I
We're not
actually
going to
want to
penalize. We're not going to
defend.
penalize the baby for that.
I actually want to defend
It's
his
still an
belief
innocent life that needs to be protected. If we're not going to protect the
through
baby, then
science.
then 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 let's don't protect life. Period.
There's established science
I say we
to
get rid of the laws.
to to actually back up his assertions.
No, no, I
And
don't have an issue with his belief. What I'm saying is, not about what he believes. I'm talking about power when it comes to what the state can do with the people. And when it comes down to laws, most laws are absolute nonsense because at the end of the day, you actually have a right to do anything you want until you hurt somebody else's property, whether
That
it
is
be
an
them
exception.
themselves, their actual body. No, but the thing is, that's the only it hurt other people or their property because it's not yours. All rights derive from property. I can't
Hmm.
drive your car and smash your car because it's yours. So therefore, you have rights. You can give me permission to do it, but I can't do it without your permission because the rights of that car derive from it being your property. It's not my property. So at the end of the day, unfortunately, you have this trick bag when it comes to women. A woman has her own body. Her body is her property. How can I tell that woman what to do with her property? And at the end of the day, unfortunately, if she decides to abort a child, whether I agree with it or disagree with it, from a fundamental standpoint, how can I tell that woman what to do with her body when she's not hurting somebody else? So the first thing we would have to do is establish in law that a person has their rights at the moment of conception. If you can't get that established, you're never going to be able to get around the fact that that baby's in that woman's body.
That shouldn't be something that we have to do. That should be automatic.
And
I understand.
there's the ignorance. There's the ignorance. How are you going to enact a law without substantial data?
And you,
At
you
one
actually
point,
don't need a certain amount
abortion.
of.
At one
Oh, go
point,
ahead,
You
brother.
won't.
abortion was outlawed. Period. It was against the law to get an abortion because they considered it murder. Apparently, they had substantial evidence back then to call it murder.
No,
And
and you know
now
what?
they
I'm
and now
actually.
they don't. But
Oh
and
no.
let's keep in
No, the
mind.
data is still there. The reason why
Let's
they changed wasn't because they didn't think it was a murder or not. It changed for a whole bunch of
uh-huh.
other reasons.
Uh-huh.
No,
So
no,
yeah,
I get what you're saying.
And
I'm
one of
not
the reasons
disagreeing with
that got
you.
this, yeah,
here we
and
go.
one of the things
Here
that
we
got the
go.
ball
Let them
going
talk. Let them talk.
was
Maximum
that
Black loves to talk. Let them talk.
women were getting back alley abortions with coat hangers and stuff like that. Okay,
True.
that was one of the things that got it going, along with the feminist movement. Okay, that pushed a bunch of useless rhetoric, damaging rhetoric, brainwashing
Hmm.
rhetoric. That also helped it along. It's not that they don't still think it's murder. They're trying to get it overturned now.
No, I understand that, but that's why I say you're gonna have to deal with the fundamental issue, and the fundamental issue is does that fetus have rights? And the only way to
Yes,
give that fetus right. No, hear what I'm saying. From a legal perspective, the only way to give that fetus rights is we must have it established in law that that fetus is a person, therefore due rights. Until that is established in law, everything else is just talk.
all of us started out the same way.
Oh God.
We here because we went through the process of
I
Ugh.
don't disagree with that.
the different stages of development. Who are we to deny another human being the same thing?
I'm trying to agree with you, Maximum Black, and you're making it a little
I
bit
mean,
difficult.
we're not gods, man. We've gotten to the point where we don't care or regard or have any regard for life. We all came through the same way.
I'm
Bro, I'm not
trying
disagreeing with you
to.
at all. I'm just saying from a legal perspective, if you truly want to win that fight, the only way to do it, you have to establish fundamentally that at the moment of conception, you have a person and a person that is due its rights. That's
That
the
shouldn't
only
have to
way to
be
get that done.
right. But yeah, but
Via
you see, my whole problem is
scientific
with that
data.
is that shouldn't be a
Scientific
reason.
data.
That shouldn't even be a reason. That should be automatic, okay? Because again,
Here you
we
go
all
with this.
got here basically the same way.
You can't
No, no,
see you
no,
being all
but
It
philosophical
should
and
be
stuff.
automatic that the person, okay, should have the right to live.
You
no,
We're
one of
talking
them
about an innocent
shoulda.
life that can't protect itself.
He one of them shoulda, coulda,
Okay, and
woulda brothers.
if we're going to have laws in place to protect innocent life,
There's scientific data to back up what you're
it must
saying,
stretch to
Maximum Black.
all innocent life. All
But
innocent
you
life.
don't want to hear it. You just want to
That
talk.
includes babies.
bro,
If
I'm
we're
not
not going to
against.
protect the babies, if we're not going to protect the babies, we're going to say all this kind of hocus pocus BS nonsense. then let's get rid of the laws. Period. Let's stop protecting people. Period. Let's stop protecting life. Period.
You hear this
Right.
Let's get rid of
dramatic,
all the.
you
Let's
hear
get rid
this
of all the.
drama.
Let's get
I
rid of
got
all of the
scientific
exceptions. Let's get
evidence
rid of all
that
the
backs up
exceptions.
what you're
No more
concerned about,
exceptions.
and you don't want to hear it because all you want to do is talk. You're
No more
you
exceptions.
you're shoulda, woulda, coulda dramatic.
And I hear where you're coming from, but I'm just not. When I look at it on a human level, it just doesn't jive, man.
No, no, I get
It
what you're
doesn't
saying,
jive.
but
Right.
the thing is, the law is not about being human. The law is something
Hmm.
man has created. It's not from God. Man created it to
Well, man is
protect.
flawed.
Exactly. So, and
Right.
but I'm also saying that if we start respecting fundamental issues, because when it comes down to it, the average law doesn't even need to be a law. If you just simply go with the fundamental issue, like they were making in the Constitution, you basically have the right to do anything you want to do until you damage somebody else's property or some other person. And if you do
That's
that,
an exception.
no, but hear what I'm saying. Hear what I'm saying. That's the only exception. And once we understand that fundamentally, what law do you need to have in place? You don't need to have a law that says a person can't murder somebody else. We already understand another person is not your property. So therefore, it makes it wrong. You can't steal somebody else's car. You understand that it's not your property. Therefore, you can't take that vehicle. If you just deal with the fundamental issues, everything else
Hmm.
starts to solve itself. So if you,
Right.
from a fundamental standpoint, if we establish, because I'm trying to say what the solution is. The solution is we have to establish that at the moment of conception, a person has their rights. They are a real person. Unless we get that put into law, you're never going to be able to change anything. So I'm not saying whether abortion should happen. I'm not saying abortion shouldn't happen. I'm just saying the only way to make it right from a legal standpoint, you have to establish that a person is a person at the moment of conception. Therefore, it has rights. Unless you
Well, at
establish
one
that
point,
fetus has rights, then you can go inside that body and take it out.
that's what it was because abortion was outlawed.
I mean, and that's true. But my thing is, we've moved away from that point. When we
Well,
get back to
well,
that
well,
point,
well
we're
right
gonna
now,
have to deal with the fact that it's still growing inside that woman's body. So
well,
therefore, you're
Trump,
gonna have to
Trump
argue all the
is
women who say it's my body. It should be my choice.
right. Trump is trying to get it reversed. He's trying to get it outlawed again. That's the way it should be.
But Max, he's only doing that
Hmm.
because of white death, birth decline.
I
Right.
don't care, man. It should be outlawed, period, because it affects us too. As a matter of fact, it's hurting us worse than anyone else.
Now I understand what you're saying, but like I said earlier, when it comes to the children, from a large scale, do you see black
I had a stat that was telling me how many babies are aborted every year. Black babies. I have to go back and look it up again. I can't remember exactly where I got it from.
well, I have seen some stats about blacks
Hmm.
and abortions, and were staggering in the millions. And but the thing is, um, life if it has been aborted, and I say suffer through life because the more I'm studying about the black community, like what's going on with us as a people, the more I'm seeing like it's like people don't even care about their kids from a majority standpoint. They don't really even care. So these kids will come, but they're not being taken care of. We have women gravitate men that don't care about having a baby, so they can have a baby on their own without the man being involved, which ain't really turning into the best situations for the kids. So if we did eliminate abortion right now, the problems that we have, these points. My thing is we if life is considered valuable, then the people that are here should be treated a little bit better. meaning the children. If we truly thought life was valuable, wouldn't we treat the kids better?
Absolutely.
Yes, we would.
So
We
my
treat each
thing
other
is,
better as well too.
yeah. So the way I look at it, for us to really solve a problem, you got to look at the actual problem. The problem is we don't really love ourselves that much as a group. Yes, I as a person love myself. I'm sure you on the panel may love yourself. But as a group of people, do we love ourselves? The main issue we have in the black community is we accept white supremacy and we don't let it go. We become adults still accepting white supremacy
But
because
that's what
that's
I
what
was
we're taught.
talking about when I said that we need to care about each other more. We need to instill confidence in each other. But someone said I was complaining. Someone said that that wasn't a solution. You
No,
have to have
that is a
change
solution.
first.
Yeah, that is a
Yes.
solution. That is a solution. I don't know why somebody would say it's not a solution, but yes,
Oh,
we do need to
he's
I
treat
a
each other
drug
say,
better.
addict from the Air
I
Force.
said it's a say what you. I said it's a suggestion, and what you're
Drug
doing,
addict.
you're calling me a drug addict. And the
I don't
Navy
think that's what he
has
said.
the greatest failures of mankind. Are you serious?
I wasn't a part of that.
I don't think he
Yeah,
called you a
you.
drug
I
addict.
think. I think he's just asserted not too long ago that the Air Force had the largest amount of drug addicts, and now he keeps reiterating it every time I speak, and that's
Um,
cute. I
I mean,
appreciate
you
it.
know what?
But
The Navy,
my point is that he made a suggestion. He did
Notice I
not
never said
contribute.
anything about her.
He
Notice
did
that,
not.
right?
Of course, yeah, I know you think I'm being,
Notice
impulsive.
now, I
I
want y'all
know
to
you think
listen,
I'm
right?
being impulsive.
Notice she's saying all of this, but I've never said anything about her.
You brought up hearing problem,
okay, well, you know what?
right?
Let's get this over with. When it comes to the armed
Didn't
forces,
you?
one of them got the highest amount of drug addicts. I don't know which one it is, but one of them
why
does
did
have
you
it.
bring up
It doesn't matter at
Maximum
this point.
Black? Why did you bring up hearing? I don't know if you have a hearing problem. Why did you
Anyway, so
say
like I
that?
was saying, you brought up a good
Exactly,
point when you
because
said that
you
we
know
have
where you know
to,
me from. You know where you know me from. That's
you
why
know,
you
we
did
have
that.
to, we
Let's
don't
not
love each other
purposely
or we don't
argue.
care about each other.
And him trying to be slick is not going over my head.
You know what? Let's not purposely argue though, because people
But
gonna
he's
watch
not
this.
even brave enough. He doesn't have the valor enough to declare where he knows me from.
Does that
He's
We
really
just
don't know what
does that
valor
really
means
matter at this
either.
point? Does it really
he's
matter at
he
this
just
point? Let's just carry on with the
if it
discussion.
didn't matter, he wouldn't have mentioned a hearing problem. He knows
You know what?
exactly what I'm talking about, but he's keeping it to himself because he's a coward.
No. The thing
He
So
is,
won't. He's a
I
maybe
do
you're
coward.
agree with you
correct,
that we don't care
but
about
does it
each other.
really matter? But does it really matter for the sake of the show? Let people be able to tune into this show, hear real discussion, and have something really to take back with them and think about. We might
I
be
agree.
helping some
And with
people,
that being
but
said,
let's
I
not get
want to.
caught up in little small stuff. Let's not get caught up in it.
I agree with what
With
you're
that
saying
being
about we don't
said,
care about each other that much. I
it would
agree.
be very very pertinent to announce that the fetus has a brain stem at 16 days old. 16 days old upon conception. Therefore, in my humble opinion, it is a life that deserves protection. I was trying to be on his side, but he keeps coming at me with this "a woman can't tell me nothing" type of attitude, and I'm
What,
just not with it. And he knows
what,
where he knows me from, but he won't admit it because he's a coward.
I think
just let it
I
just
think
let it
media
go.
has
It's
a
not
lot.
that important to the conversation. It's where
Sure,
y'all
I
know
think
each other. It's not
media.
that important.
I think media plays a big part in that too, Roger, about us not liking each other. With all of the negative images that you see of black people. They even doing now in commercials where you see, I'm starting to see a lot of black men, prominent black men, with white women in commercials.
Like, yeah,
You know,
because
Mm,
they
yeah,
white folks
uh huh,
want to have discord between
yeah.
black folks.
hmm,
They want to have that discord, so they're gonna put the images up that they want to put up. But at the end of the
right,
day, I look at us as individuals. You become 18 years old. you can start to do what you want to do, especially if you've grown and gone out the house. So if you're still accepting white supremacy, you're being a traitor on your own at that point. Doesn't make a difference what they push to you in childhood. You're a grown person. You're 25 years old. You're 30 years old, and you're still accepting white supremacy. Which a lot of men accept white supremacy until they start hitting these 18, 19, 20 years old, because white supremacy is so much harder on men that we just reject it a lot faster from an overall standpoint. But we have a lot of women who will never let it go, which is why you have so many people who gravitate toward men that don't want to be fathers to have their babies from, because they're not looking to be under the leadership of other men that are competent and productive. They don't want that leadership aspect. Therefore, they leave those guys alone when it comes to having a child. So at the end of the day, you're choosing to stay with white supremacy at that point. You're an adult.
Oh, interesting. Interesting. Very interesting, Roger.
Well, my thing is we shouldn't complain about something we're choosing. And if you're choosing to have a baby, or see, my thing is when everything is actually starts to become very simple at certain points, because what's a productive man in our society? Okay, a man is you can't be considered a man until you're at least 18 years old, from a general standpoint. Okay, so I accept that, right? So what is a man going to do at 18 years old? You got 4 productive options. You either go to college, you go get a job, you go to the military, or you start a business. You got women having babies by men that hadn't did any other 4. There is no other option outside of starting a business or having a job or being in college or being in the military. There is no other way to even pretend you're being productive. If you haven't done any of the 4, yet a woman goes to have a baby by a guy that's not doing any of the 4, even though there's plenty of men somewhere in those 4, we're choosing white supremacy at that point.
I think in this day and age, that number should be higher. I don't think it should be 18 anymore. I don't think it should be 18 anymore.
Oh, okay.
I think it should be pushed to 20, 21, maybe 22.
I mean, maybe it should be all right now. I'm just saying, at 18 years old, and you have a large group of women going after a man. I'm talking about the ones that actually had a baby. You didn't get married, so the man never made a commitment to you. And then you didn't even have the baby by a man that was in one of the 4 productive avenues. And that's not even saying that just because he's being productive, he's a great man. But my whole point is, how can you be a great man if you're not choosing to be productive? That's impossible. You can't be good while choosing not to be productive.
But this is why I say I think that number should be, because if you go back to the 60s and the 70s, right? The family structure was still intact, very strong, right? So the boys were taught differently. They had a different mentality, and they was often very mature at the age of 18. I myself was out of the home and had everything going on for myself, right? At the age of 19, okay? Because I had a strong background, strong upbringing. These kids today, they don't have that. And they don't develop nowhere near as quickly, especially the young boys. These boys are 18, 20, 25 years old, still have 15-year-old mentalities. I see it all the time. So I think that number, I think that number has to change, because I don't know if we can reestablish the family the way it used to be.
Well, I don't think bringing the number up is going to correct that problem. The issue is you like I say, everything really comes down to how somebody's fundamentals are. The issue is you have a lot of black women that grow up fundamentally being taught white supremacy, and they agree with white supremacy, and men are not calling women out for agreeing with white supremacy.
I don't know if they're agreeing with it. I think that's kind of harsh. Maybe they just don't know they're brainwashed.
We're past the time to be trying to protect people's feelings. Ignorance of the law is no excuse.
Well,
You're either doing it or you're not doing it.
Ignorance
If
of the
I'm
law
wrong, if I'm right, I'm right.
Well, ignorance of the law is ignorance of the law. I don't know if it's an excuse or not, but people can't be aware of everything.
But my thing is, life ain't fair. At 18 years old, you need to know everything you need to know about life. I know you don't know everything you need to know. I didn't know it at 18, but at the end of the day,
That's
you need to know
unrealistic.
it. No, it's
That's
unrealistic to have a person who's actually going to know everything, but you do have to live in a world where you have an understanding that you are required to know everything. If we don't
I
require
mean,
more, we don't get more.
I mean, at 18, what do you really know about? Like, you don't really know anything.
I'm not
I
saying
mean, you
you
haven't
do,
done anything. Yeah, you haven't even done.
but if we don't, but if we don't require more, we won't get more. We live it as black men. We don't require our women to make good choices in men. We don't require that.
Well, that's not
If we
something that's
require
on
that,
us. That's not
I
on
know it's
us.
on them to do whatever they want to. I know it's on them to do
Hmm.
whatever they want to do. But if we keep, but for those of us, because it's not all of us, but for those of us who keep trying to build safety nets around them, you're not requiring anything from them, so you're allowing them to repeat bad choices that hurts our community as a whole. Because unfortunately, there's direct effects and there's indirect effects. Now I don't have kids, and if I had kids, I would take
Hmm.
care of my kids. But the fact that there's some other guy that I've never met and never will meet that doesn't take care of his kids, there's people who gonna look at me and not do as much as they would have just because they have a perception of me that I had nothing to do with. So it's
Hmm.
going to affect me
Well,
regardless.
I do think that we have to keep a safety net around them. We have to work with them, man, and try to help them do better. But we do have to protect them. Without them, we don't have anything without them.
No, I mean I agree that we definitely need our women, but we definitely, as men, we should be holding our women to a higher standard.
Yeah.
You cannot fix any community where you let basically one gender is accountable for everything, and the other gender can do whatever it wants to do without any real problems. And that's what's going on in the black community. Now I understand that's basically been a situation that was engineered by white supremacy. But if our women choose to participate in it the way they designed it, and we don't look at them as humans, then we're messing up at that point.
Well, I think that we have to have a little bit more compassion than that. We have to understand that they are operating with an artificial mentality. It's not really their own mentality. So we have to have that understanding and be a little bit more compassionate and patient,
No, we should
and
be
work with them.
compassionate. I do. I agree with all that. But my thing is, you when I was a child, my parents punished me. Period. They were compassionate, but it didn't give me past punishment. I got whooped when I was a kid. I
Yeah,
lost
but
different things when I was a child. I couldn't go over here because of something I did. I didn't get this gift because of something I did. I got this whooping because of something I did. So compassion was included, but compassion did not derail punishment.
that was a different time, man. We live in a completely different. Those things are may as well be fossils, man. You
Yeah, but
know.
humans still work the same way. It may have been a different time,
Um,
but humans work the same way, and we got a better results at those times than we're getting right now, which tells me that we need to probably go back toward those times.
I don't know if that's gonna work, but I mean, we could try. I don't know if it's gonna work though, because
Do we
there's
like
too
what
much
we're getting?
corruption. There's too much corruption today, man. You didn't have
I
as
don't-
much corruption back then as you have now, and then you had a stronger community back then than you do now. The community right now is in shambles. The entire environment is corrupted. So
Okay,
you have to have a different
and
approach.
I can agree to that. I can agree to
Hmm.
that. But I'm saying how is things going to change? And honestly, I think I this is my personal view, but the way I'm hearing these numbers about all these black men that don't have children,
Hmm.
I think a lot of black men are starting to wake up because they're choosing not to participate in a crooked system.
And I think that's what's
Because
making things, and I think that's what's making it worse in a sense. It's not that you want to participate in the crooked system. But to get up, right, and go your own way and leave the women behind, that's not that's not the way to do
No,
it.
no. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, if you have men, because I'm not, I don't push that men go their own way thing. I think men
Hmm.
should marry good women, but only the good ones. You know what I'm saying? Because
I
when you have men marrying a bunch of women that's getting, and half of those are getting divorces, like brothers do need to know something about how to look at what a good wife actually is, because the divorce rate shouldn't be that high. So there, and I understand where it's coming from, because yes, there's a lot of people who wasn't raised with mothers and fathers. Some people don't even know their fathers. They don't get that whole dynamic. But we're in the information age now. There is nothing that you need to know that you can't find out.
if we want our women to be better, right? If we want more good women, then we have to create an environment that produces that and supports that.
I mean, I agree with that statement. So how do
And
we go about
and
producing the better woman?
we 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 men have to create that environment for them.
No, I get that, but I'm saying, so how do we start? And the way things are right now, how do we
Okay, I
start
can.
producing that better woman?
Okay, okay. Let's start getting rid of the womanizing stuff. Let's start getting rid of the pimps. Stop glorifying the pimps, right? Let's get them out of there, right? Let's get rid of deadbeat dads. Okay, let's start raising our boys, right, to be upstanding young men. Okay, that's a start right there.
And I think that's being done when you have fathers in the home. That is being done.
It's not being done to the degree that we can create
It
that kind of
could be.
salubrious environment. Right. We need way more than what we're doing right now.
No, I understand that point, but see, this is my thing. If you have a woman that has a child and she is not
Hmm.
with the father, now some people
Hmm.
gonna argue that they don't believe in marriage. See, my thing is, you don't even have a
Hmm.
baby with a man unless you're married to
Hmm.
him. That should be your requirement as a woman. Every girl that I have influence over, I preach that to them. You don't have a child with a man who won't marry you. That's just
But then
stupid.
you have
And I
to,
tell them why.
right. You have to develop a code, man. Right. So
Well, yes,
if you
I
have a
agree with that.
woman, right. If you have women that have children and they have no men, or the men that don't want to take care of them, whatever, then it's up to the able men in that community to help that woman raise those children.
No,
That's
that
what they
that
did back in the
no,
day. That's why the community was so strong back in the day than it is now because
no, no, no,
right
no.
we
Back in
every
the day, you didn't have women going out purposely electing to have children without the men around.
back in the day, which is where I'm from, right? Men, right, routinely raised children that weren't theirs.
I'm not saying
Routinely.
that's not true. I'm not saying that part is not true. The issue, what I'm saying is, we didn't have a bunch of women electing to go have a baby on their own. It
Well,
was a shame. There was shame about having children without being involved with the man, especially if
big,
you weren't married. There was a shame in our community to that,
right,
and we don't, and that
right,
shame has been removed.
right. But you see, that's what we have to create today. You don't have that today. That's why you have a lot of women running around doing these things because the men don't care. If you don't
Okay,
show
but
them
this,
that you care, listen, if you don't show them that you care, right, they're going to go out and
mhm.
do whatever because they don't think that you care.
I
If you show
agree
them
with
that
you.
you care, right, if you show them that you care and that you're willing to do something and you're willing to back them, you're willing to be in their corner, you're willing to work with them, right, they will start to change.
I agree. I agree that women need to see men care. So that's why my thing is, no, you don't just go randomly help women out. You only help
Why
out
not?
a specific, because you want change. In order to get change, you must have a requirement. So you can go out and start helping women, but you put requirements on which women you do help. So therefore, as people grow up, they're going to see who gets help and who doesn't. And when people want help, they're going to choose to be in the category of people that get the help versus the people that do not get the help. You're going to,
Creating
at some point in time, you're going to have to make a decision about who you're going to help and who you're not going to help.
creating a selective environment doesn't work. That breeds animosity.
I understand that, and that's not the end of the world, and it does help because it eliminates people from dealing in bad practices on a large level.
Selective environment is what we have now, and look at all of the corruption.
You cannot get women to change if there's no reason for them to change.
Yeah, you start giving them a reason to change by caring about them.
Yes,
Start
yeah,
there.
I'm not against caring about them, but who a man chooses to help, you have to start being selective about what qualifies for help. If you don't have a qualification to get the help, then a woman can do whatever she wants and still get the help. Therefore, there's no reason to change. You can't save everybody. Even God Himself, when He led the people out of Egypt, they were
Well,
murmuring, they
well,
were
well. If
complaining.
you if you walk around believing that you can't save everybody, then you won't save anyone.
No, no, you can save a lot if you believe you can save some. A person trying to stretch himself to save everybody saves none because no one has the ability to save everybody else. But if
I've
you
never
focus on who you can save, then you can help a lot of people.
I've never seen that.
Yes, you have. You just haven't paid attention to the fact that you have. Just like when there's teachers who have bad students and they select a student, they know this person needs a little
Well,
bit more help than others, and they give that student extra attention. They're helping save that person
the
because they're
people
focused
I've
on what they
seen,
can do.
right?
Go ahead.
The people I've seen, either in my past or present, right, who save people, who teach people, whatever, they believe they can do that with anyone. They believe
And you
that
know
they
what?
can do anything.
That's fine if they want to believe that they can. But the reality is they didn't save everyone, or we wouldn't be still speaking about problems. Nobody can save everyone, but you
I
can
think it's a
save somebody.
right. I think it's a motivation to want to save everyone. I think that gives you high motivation, like Dr. Sabi, right?
Hmm.
One of the reasons why he became a healer is because he had a mentality that he wanted to heal the world, and that
Yeah,
provided
there's nothing wrong
motivation.
with that.
Right, that provided motivation to get up and do it every day. When you want to heal the world, then you're just helping people. You don't care, whether it's random or not. You're just helping people because you want to heal the world. So people who believe that they can teach, the whole world will teach anyone. They don't
No,
care if you
brother,
don't like
I understand
pancakes.
what.
Right, right. They don't
But,
care if you don't like pancakes and cornbread. They're going to teach you.
but I understand what you're saying. How to impact the world? How you impact the
Hmm.
world? Because people are not objects. They think and they do what they want to do. The way for me to be the most impactful is to help the people I believe is worth helping. And as long as people say he'll help you if you do this, they'll be willing to do whatever that requirement is so they can get help too. And if I teach other people to also help people with these requirements, more people will try to fit those requirements. The first way to help people is to get them to start helping themselves.
Well, the
And
way I
me
look at
trying
it,
to reach for that standard is me helping myself.
well, the way I look at it, right, I would say this, right. If I had what 5 people there, right? Say I couldn't help them all, right? But I want to help them all, right?
Hmm.
Well, what I would probably do is I would probably help two and teach those two to help the other three. That way I
And
get them all.
what I'm saying, but that makes sense. But when you select which two you're going to help, you got to put some type of requirement on which two you're going to help. So
The first two I
I'm
get
saying
to.
is all I'm saying is the problem we have in the black community, especially when it comes to women and children, it is so big right now that you ain't gonna save all of them. That's just reality. You're not gonna do it.
Why
You
not?
can want to because no man has the ability to save all because the numbers are just too high. Just that plain and simple. The numbers are just too high for any one person to save them all. But you can be impactful, and if we as a group of men start setting requirements, look, this who we gonna start helping. You got to do this, that, and that, and then we're gonna give you aid and assistance and help you get to where you need to be. Those women
Well,
will
I think
first.
that
Well, hold
I
on one
look at
second.
it this way.
Let me just say this one quick thing. Once you put those requirements out there,
Hmm.
women are going to look at themselves and say, "Do I want to meet these requirements?" If they say, "I want to meet these requirements to get the help," you've already inspired them to start helping themselves.
I think we have a new panelist.
Yeah, you guys do.
Um,
How you guys doing tonight? This is Ken.
hey, what's going on?
What's going on,
Yeah.
Ken?
Doing all right.
Um,
What's up, Mello?
the way I would
Hey.
look at it is that I think that when we start putting limitations on ourselves, we hold ourselves back. I think if we don't put any limitations on ourselves, we'd be surprised what we're capable of doing. We might just be able to help everyone.
Why do you
Hey,
see what I'm saying as a limitation?
Hmm?
Why do you see what I'm
Excuse
saying as
me.
a limitation? Why do you see what I'm saying
Um,
as a limitation? Because it's
because I
not.
think that when people say, "Well, you can't help everyone," I think that is a limitation. I think you're putting a limitation on your own abilities.
No, no,
In on other people's abilities.
no. What I'm doing is I'm being realistic. At the end of the day, you don't have the physical capability to help every other person. You just don't. Now, what I
Yeah, but
can
I don't
do
think
is
that's
I can
something
help
that you
people.
should.
What
Yeah,
I
but I wouldn't
can
use
do is
that
I
as the
can help a
standard not
person
to
help.
help anyone.
I didn't say nothing about not helping anyone. What I said was no person can physically help everybody else. But what I know I can do from any physical standpoint, you remove all excuses. I can help people who are willing to meet these requirements.
Yeah, but I'm
Period.
not even
I'll
sure
help
that
you if
that's
you're
even
willing to meet these requirements.
right. But I'm not sure that that's even realistic because if you're saying that one person can't help everyone, yeah, it's not meant for one person to help everyone. You can't get all over the world in a lifetime, right?
Yes.
So I don't even understand why we even had that thought process in our head. That why to me that's useless thinking. I mean, it's just taking up space in your mind. It means nothing.
No. The point of me saying that was because people make excuses for not doing what they can. And what I'm saying is, let's focus on what a person can do. And what a person
Yeah, but
can
doesn't
do,
that?
bro,
Yeah, but isn't that what that is though?
people gonna always come up with excuse not to do. That's the easiest thing in the world. So to
Right, but isn't that
remove,
what?
go
Yeah,
ahead,
but
go
isn't
ahead.
that what it is though? When you said, okay, well, you can't help everyone in the world. That's the same thing.
No, it's not the same thing. Saying I can't help everyone does not mean I
I,
shouldn't help anyone.
Of
I
course,
think
you
I
can't
figured
help
it out.
everyone.
I think I figured it out.
Of
I
course, you
think I
can't help everyone.
figured
No
it
one.
out.
But to me,
I'll be doggone.
for me that's unnecessary to even think something like that.
Man.
Hey, you know what? Hey, let me. Can I get in? Can I get in here, you guys?
Go ahead,
I
go
just
ahead,
want
go
to.
ahead.
Yeah. So I was listening to the conversation with regards to abortion, and I just wanted to chime in and just give my 2 cents, and also respond to one of the sisters in the chat that has her own personal view on abortion. I'm against abortion. I don't. I've never felt that it was necessary. I've listened to Sister Mela. That's my girl. This is just something that we disagree with. Mela, I'd like to ask you a question. And I don't know if you guys talked about this already. If you guys did, then I'm sorry, but I just want to know from my own personal. How do you feel?
Child support was established via the Social Security Act, and it evolved over time into AF. What is that called? With assistance for families and children. Because, and I'm gonna tell you why I don't have a problem with child support. I don't have a problem with it only because the system evolved recognizing an opportunistic um, situation. It was like we can make money. This is the state now, and I'm interpreting. I'm interpreting this. The state can make money chasing after these runaway fathers, and that's why they develop what is called today child support enforcement. You know, let's put in quotation marks enforcement, because the lobbyists actually constructed a way to develop that bureau. It's a bureau. It's like they developed an official department of enforcement to chase down men that have been declared through a birth certificate to be responsible for the birth that the state would have otherwise taken on financially. The state is like, oh no, we're burdened enough, so we're going to go after that guy. Now, the problem lies where I have an issue with it is when women who, dare I say, apply for assistance, it's an automatic process. And that's my problem. Like, it's like, just say between you and the dad of your child doesn't work out and you apply for, food or whatever benefits they got out there. The system has constructed itself to where it's an automatic search for that father that is on that birth certificate. And the problem with the birth certificate is she can make up any name she wants to, and it's on his back to prove that he's not the father, as Murray Povich would say. And that's my dilemma with it. It's like child support is a conundrum because it's, how can I put this? I understand why it was developed. I just think it's unfair. I think it just gives women too, and when I say women, I'm just saying because that's what it usually resulted in, but men are actually exploiting the loopholes as well. It just provided too many loopholes to crush. Do you realize men have gone to jail for being in arrears for child support?
Yeah, man.
How the hell is he supposed to pay? Yeah, how is he supposed to, do it? I mean, people's careers have been destroyed through child support, and I find that just intolerable.
Well,
so that's my thought.
Let me speak. I'm speaking about. And the purpose of that.
I thought he asked you a question about abortion.
Max. Let me chill for a second. The simple matter why
Maximum Black. He said child support.
Yeah. Hold on. Let me say that about the child support. Yes, it is a necessity, but also a curse. And because it's now a racketeering, what it's going to do now is that they not really care about the essence of the child. The state is more focused on getting their money. And like always, you don't pay up. They want two things happen. You're going to lose your license, which you can't be able to drive around to get to work, or in jail, which they make more money, put you in jail anyway. So they benefit both ends. That was the purpose of it.
Yeah. So the reason why I asked that question is to bring it back to abortion is because I always find it ironic.
But you asked about child support. You asked me specifically.
I did ask you about child support. I did.
And it's no accident that the prison industry is being privatized because they are funneling grown men who are in arrears for child support into prison. Yeah. It's no accident.
Well, the reason why I asked that question was because whenever this conversation comes about abortion, and it's a woman's right to choose, and it's her body, and these things. Okay, I mean, obviously, I have no choice but to accept that. I'm not a woman, But saying that, these very same women are pro child support. Now, I get everything you said. I agree with it. I'm actually pro child support too. I feel that if you you pay to play, if you created a child, then you are responsible for taking care of that child.
Yeah, but those punishments are too devastating. I just can't jail with that. I just for somebody to go to jail. That's crazy, man.
Well, you agree in the state being involved in people's children. Why is the state involved with somebody else's child in the first place? It's real tricky to hear you say that you cool with child support, but you against the punishment of child support. Yet the state shouldn't be taking care of anybody's child. That should be between those two people. Right. And so then the conundrum is that when I'm listening to women say, well, it's my right, my body, I choose regardless of what the man says. But then by the same token, if the man doesn't want the child, then the woman then feels like, well, nope, I don't care. You know, like everything you said happens under the guise of child support. You've ruined this man's life. He can be thrown in jail. You take his money. You know, it's a struggle for him. And again, I'm not against child support. I am totally for it. Okay, but I just see it as a extreme inconsistency in the argument that, well, hey, I want this child even though you don't. I'm gonna make you have to support this child by going and getting out and getting an out seeking an outside source to help me force you to take care of a child that you don't want. But then you also feel that, which means that I can impose on your life. Hello?
Yep, and all at my expense as the taxpayer who ain't got nothing to do with this baby. All this is still
Right.
to my expense.
So,
I can't get my potholes fixed, but somebody I don't know can get the state involved in their child's issues, even though they're grown people. Makes no sense.
Can I interject here real quick?
No, Kenneth was speaking.
That's why I asked my interject. That's why I asked first.
yeah, I mean, go ahead. I mean, it's not my show. It's Chaos thing. So,
Chaos, you mind if I interject?
Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
This is why I said get rid of child support, because if it was a woman's right to choose, the man has no say so, then she shouldn't be able to have any rights over him if he don't want the baby and she has the baby. That's why I said get rid of child support.
But see, when you say that,
I
that's
mean,
why I
it's
said we
really
need to. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Kenny. Go ahead.
no. Go ahead, brother. It's cool. I'm good.
I was just gonna say real quickly, when I say we should be going toward what fundamental laws should be. The same way, if it's a woman's choice, the state shouldn't be involved. If that woman chooses to have a baby, that's on her to figure it out. Now, if the man want to help her, that's his kid. I got no issue with that man helping that woman take care of that child. Now, if that man decides not to be involved, I don't have no issue with the fact that he's not involved. If she knew that brother wasn't going to be involved, yes, she still chose to have a baby with that brother, because I'm not going to restrict her freedom on who she can sleep with. But I don't want to be involved. I'd rather my potholes be fixed. I'd rather my library get updated. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather the stuff I pay for that affects me be taken care of than me be having my public money involved in your private affair.
Shouldn't the man have a
Yeah,
right
I
to
mean,
choose too? Shouldn't the man have a right
well,
to
yeah,
choose?
that's what I would like to ask the women. I don't know if Miss Sarah's going to come up, but yeah, I mean, that's the $1 million question that I ask women. Should men have the right to choose too? Personally, hey, like I said earlier, if you help create a baby, you should be obligated to take care of that child. You helped create it. Okay, I
Right.
mean, I'm sorry, but just real quick, we can sit here and
Mhm.
talk about these choices. You made a choice when you laid down and you had sex with this woman. That you chose to do that. Now, I mean, there's a consequence to our actions. Okay,
Well, that
adults. Go ahead.
yes, sir. Thank you kindly.
Be
That's where
pro-choice.
the oh, wait a minute. Uh,
If we're
what
going to be
is
pro-choice,
actually
the man should be able to
happening?
choose.
What's actually happening? What's actually happening is that I'm about to respond. If that's okay with you. If it's not, let me know. All right.
Okay,
Thank you.
let's not be dramatic. Just clear your response.
Okay. Well, I'm just saying. I was interrupted, but what I will respond in what Kenneth is saying, I do agree there ought to be a form designated legally that where the sperm donor has no responsibility. It's like, look, I don't claim this baby. There should be some type of, you know, liaison with that. There, I can agree with that. However, what the law has done, because I've studied this, what the law had did was develop a caveat with that circumstance in profit, in the interest of profit. It profits the state for people to pay to prove they're not the father. So it's all about the state getting money. That's all it is. The state is just exploiting people's, hunching habits. People are having sex over here, having sex over there, having sex over there, having sex over yonder, and back porch, and hotel, whatever they having sex and making these babies. The state said, you know what, we can make money off this, and that's what's happening.
Right.
That's exactly what's happening.
Right. No, the other thing I wanted to say is, we could talk about the laws as to when it's legal for a woman to actually have an abortion. I think, what is it? Is it the first? Well, I guess it depends on what state you're in. And then I think, most laws in each state, after I think, like the last trimester, you can't get an abortion, right? Then it becomes, they consider it murder. So my question, I guess, would be, is this, or if Mela, okay, if from a moral standpoint, do you feel that it's okay to get an abortion at any time, or are you just kind of more arguing the law? So would it be, do you feel it's okay for a woman to get an abortion at 8.5 months?
Absolutely not. In cases of rape and incest, I would side on it being allowable, but any other circumstance is not.
Yeah. So 8.5 months. So then you are against abortion, right? After a certain time frame.
Absolutely, because
which
the little baby's brain is developed at 16 days after conception. That's a little baby. That's a baby. Okay? That's a baby. And to be a good steward that you have enacted to host, be responsible for that. That is my thinking. That's not that's not what's going on, but that's my thinking. It's a baby that after 16 days is scientifically proven they've developed a brain. A
Yeah,
brain.
nerve endings,
All
release.
that. And
Yeah.
it's like, to destroy it, because they want to talk about first trimester and all this other. It's like, look, 16 days. The brain is developed. That's a baby. That's a baby.
Right.
And what's wrong with being a good steward of the host that you enacted some type of physical activity that occurred? I mean,
Right.
you did it, stick with it. That's my thought. You did it, stick with it. that's
Yeah,
how I
no, I
roll.
agree.
You did
I
it,
agree.
stick
Well,
with it. But
hey,
that's
I'm
just
gonna
me.
I gotta get to the gym. I just really wanted to hop on and just Mela, man, you're talented. I love to see you on shows. I think it's Maximum Black, and I can't remember the other brother's name. I'll be listening in.
That's the Roger Report.
The Roger Report. Okay. Well, hey, man, I'm enjoying the conversation. I'll be listening in. And if you guys are still on, I'll hop back on in a little over an hour. So, Chaos, thanks for having me on, brother. I appreciate it.
Well wishes.
Very welcome.
Well wishes.
Yeah, man, good deal. Yeah, so like I was saying, right, if we're going to be pro-choice, then the man should have the right to choose whether he wants to be a father or not, without any consequence. That is pro-choice, isn't it?
Is my thing still working? Hold on. I'm still on. Okay, good. Yeah.
Hear what I said, Chaos?
I think I made people moderators. What's going on here? 1 second. Yeah, go say it again.
I said, if we're going to talk about pro-choice, then the man should have the choice to choose whether he wants to be a father or not without any consequence. I mean, that is pro-choice, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if
Yeah, true.
if he decides that he doesn't want to be a father, she should have no right to bring him up on child support. It's his choice.
Yeah. True. It's true. Yep. It is his choice. This is right. But it's about that time. I'm already pushing the minute hour portion. No, yeah, Roger stepped out. But I'm gonna conclude tonight's broadcast. Any closing remarks between the two of y'all?
I really enjoyed the conversation, man. It was pretty cool.
Okay. It's too bad Mr. Gray couldn't come on. He did
always hell everywhere I go.
Yeah. One thing I will say, go ahead. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, I'm just waiting for last thoughts, comment.
I just think that we have to start treating each other better, start caring about each other, start instilling confidence in one another, start working together, stop all this craziness about hating our women, start working together with our women, okay? Because we're in this together, and no one is coming to help us. We don't have any friends. All we have is each other, and we need to understand that.
And I think in regards to the topic, if you did it, stick with it. Abortion is not only unkind, it actually induces mental illness. A woman, I can't imagine any woman who's had one or more acts of that manner that hasn't been affected adversely in a mental state of, because how do you carry that guilt, like, oh God, I killed my baby type of, that as a matter of fact, there are studies that show the I think it's called systematic remorse or something like that. It's a health condition where women who actually begin to empathize and with the fetus that they destroyed, it haunts them. Next thing you know, they're seeing things or imagining things that remind them of, if I remember correctly, I think one of the case studies was that they wonder what they would have named the child. They wonder what the child would have looked like. And, they start becoming preoccupied with these intrusive thoughts based on behaviors of, abortion. And I think abortion promotes mental illness in a woman, and she would do well to keep her legs closed until she's with a guaranteed until she's in a situation where she can guarantee the stewardship of that child is embraced by both parents. And those are my final thoughts about your topic. Thanks for inviting me. Appreciate it.
All right. Wait, don't go nowhere. Stay right there. Yes, I'd like to thank everybody for listening to tonight's broadcast. Please comment, subscribe, and like the video. Also check out all other previews I done on Chaos Rain channel, and be on the lookout for the next streams. Thank you again, and like always, let the chaos reign.